Welcome back to another episode of Find the Line, presented by Against the Grain Design and Print, where we dive into real stories with real racers, the successes, the hardships, and everything in between, with your co-hosts Logan Cipala and Joe Falde. Produced by Luke Cipala, it all starts right here, right now, on Find the Line.
Yeah, and we can do anything. Mama said it's true, and I put that on everything. Mama told me one day I'ma blow up big and I'ma be a king. And my papa told me it's okay to say when shit hurts. Don't forget your dreams, cause they'll get you through this so-called life they call living.
Woo! All right, welcome back to Find the Line, my handlebar hookers. This week, we don't have a person on. We have the lifeblood of all cool things in North Dakota. We're going to be talking brick mine, Fordville, Dakota Scramble Series, taxidermy, off-graphic, hunting, super fun world travel. Who are we talking about? The one, the only, the myth, the legend, everything rolled up in it, the number 390, Jay Jelinek. How's it going, Jay?
It's going good. I think that intro describes 50 Shades of Jay perfectly.
It sounds like he needs more to do to me.
I was wondering, do you only sleep every other day, Jay? Is that how you accomplish all this stuff?
Sometimes it feels like that, but yeah, we just do the best we can.
Man, we've been so excited to talk to you. Your name was on our list right away when we made the podcast, and you're involved in so many just cool things, and you add so many positive things into people's life, whether it's from your art of taxidermy or anything involving motorcycles in North Dakota. And we just got to know, like, where in the hell did this all get mined out of? When you were a little boy, like, were you born in the middle of like a hill climb or something, or where did all this start for you when you were a little Jay?
No, not born in the middle of hill climb, but basically just grew up on a farm and like always had some sort of motorcycle around. So that kind of just naturally, we have a history of hill climbers in this area. Naturally, kind of gravitated towards that and progressed, and then just always family hunted and stuff too, so got into that, and
Wow.
kind of spawned a passion for two things. And I always think I would be a lot better of a hunter if I didn't race, and I'd be a lot better racer if I didn't hunt. So I'm stuck in the middle, and I kind of suck and am okay-ish at both. So
I've never hunted with you, but you're an awesome frickin' motorcycle rider, so I would not sell yourself short. You are a badass when it comes to a twist throttle and a clutch on the left hand. But growing up, we know you. You're part of the Jelinek brothers. How many brothers are there?
there's actually only 5 brothers.
Only.
So, well,
Only 5.
A lot of times, like, we have cousins like Arnie and his boys Tegan and Atlee, and a lot of people think that they're brothers of ours as well. But yeah, they're cousins. They kind of do their own Team Jelinek racing thing.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, the last name's still the same. So obviously we support each other and want each other to do well too. So.
How does this work then? Like, do you guys add up championships at the end of the year? And if the Jelinek brothers have more championships, they get to run the capital J, and then the cousins have to run the small J? Or how does this work? How is this decided?
No, but that's actually kind of a good idea, because now as Tegan and Atlee get older and more competitive, we're definitely looking over our shoulders a little bit more. And Arnie hasn't been competing the last few years. He usually had our number pretty good, but yeah, I think we'll have some good battles here in the next, I don't know, 10, 20 years, honestly. So
forever, hopefully, right? That's awesome, man.
Yeah, definitely.
So we just got to know, when you were little, like, was it your family that got you a bike, or were you little when you got a bike? How old were you when you started riding?
I don't even, a lot of people know like exactly where they started out. Like, I don't even remember exactly. We had a PW50 that sometimes ran, sometimes didn't. So didn't get to ride that a lot. We had like 3-wheelers, things like that. Pretty much the main like first bike would have been like XR Honda 80s.
Okay.
I rode those quite a bit. I had like an XL 125. They were nothing like, they weren't motocross bikes or anything like that. We literally just ditch bang and ride in dirt roads. fields when they were harvested, stuff like that. And then
Hell
we'd
yeah.
go to the hill climbs and stuff as we got older. And yeah, so probably like a little different than a lot of people just start out racing, grow up racing, and we were a little different than that. We're just farm kids having a good time. Did a lot of pedal bike riding too, probably more so than anything motorized until we got a little bit older. So
That's awesome. I mean, being country kids, that's your freedom. You got a bicycle. You can go fishing. You can get your own space. You can do whatever you want. I mean, I know when I was a little kid, probably 7 years old, like I'd be gone when it started to get dark. I was coming home. Like that's how it was. We were out in the country. It was good times. Was it living like that for you in North Dakota, Jay, when you were little?
oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, we were pretty much always on two wheels. Like I said, mostly pedal bikes till we got older. And I mean, we didn't have a lot of money growing up either, so that was part of it. I mean, we couldn't
Yeah.
afford to have a bike for all of us, things like that. So we had to share things like that too.
Yep.
But yeah, it didn't stop us. I mean, we were hill climbing our pedal bikes up like my dad used to have cows. We'd go hill climb manure piles. We're just little kids living, and it didn't matter. So
That's awesome. That's the best way to live. Just being a country kid, I can't imagine not just being able to get on your pedal bike or your dirt bike or whatever. I mean, watching Logan and Luke grow up, any dull moment they were out riding. I mean, that's just how that's how you're supposed to grow up, right?
you are, yes, exactly. And you should roll a three-wheeler a time or two as well. So,
That's how you prove if you're a man or not. If you can live through rolling
yeah.
a three-wheeler, right?
I was a proud uncle here on, I think it was Easter this year. Our little nephew Asher he was riding a three-wheeler around for the first time, and he buried it into a ditch full of water. So I was pretty proud that he didn't quite tip it, but he was close. So
Right.
it was an off-camber.
What age are you? How do you fall in the five brothers, Jay? Are you middle, oldest, youngest? Where are you at?
Yeah, I'm right in the middle.
Right in the middle?
I'm 34, and then yeah, we and Chad are younger, and then Sean and Dean are older.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, man, we just love seeing all your family come around the races. I even listened to Brap Life, and you can't be within 300 miles of North Dakota and not see a Jelinek on a two-wheel bike. It's freaking awesome. We love that. Whether they're cousins or brothers now, we're getting down to the brass tacks of it all.
For sure. Yeah. No, it's I guess something we're passionate about, and I guess you could say proud of too. We're trying to do our sport justice and represent it and progress and
Right.
have fun while we're doing it. So
So just growing up ditch banging, and it's so cool, the owner of Full Throttle, he said the same thing. Jeremy was like, I didn't grow up racing. He just grew up banging around the ditches and bought his bike. I think it was in a box with the first bike he ever had. So it's a lot of us start out like that, where you're not just jumping on a race bike, but obviously at some point you had to start racing. Was there somebody in your family that kind of got you into the racing part of it? Or did you remember how you kind of got in the fold of that?
yeah, so basically how that happened was we always attended the hill climbs growing up. It used to be only just Valley City here in North Dakota until Fordville started in 2000, and I was only 10 at that time. I think, no, I would have been 9 because I did the first year of Fordville in an 80, I believe.
Sweet.
Yeah, our oldest brother Dean, he started out. He was the first one. Arnie and his group of friends and stuff from around here back in the day, they'd go out to District 23 and stuff. And eventually, my oldest brother tried it. I think it was either his second or third hill climb, and it was nationals at Red Wing, and he ended up winning the 250 class that year.
Wow.
So it was a pretty cool deal. And he
Wow.
just started out and won, and then yeah, after that we all kind of just followed behind, and it kind of just worked out. He's actually the first one to get into it. He's really kind of the least interested these days. He's more into his road bike and stuff, where the rest of us are pretty well set in the dirt world, and we don't care too much about the street bikes. So
Right.
yeah, we all just followed suit in the hill climb game, and then naturally took on a little bit of motocross and eventually Harescrambles and off road. Yeah.
Oh. And that's what's fun about a dirt bike. We talk about it all the time, but you're not singular focused. There's a million things you can do on a dirt bike, and it's fun exploring it. I've got to watch all you guys Jay, Logan, Luke, all you explore different methods to use that tool or that instrument. And it's so freaking epic, isn't it? Just discovering new ways to get that butt clenched and get a little puckered or nervous or excited. It's just, you can't get enough of it, can you?
No, you can't. And honestly, I'm super glad that you can pick and choose. Some people just like to ride one discipline, and I just think it'd be a lot easier to get burnt out that way.
Hmm.
I like to do a little bit of moto, a little bit of Harescramble, and it just keeps it refreshing. I guess just spending laps all the time and doing the same thing time after time just isn't for me, and just keeps things fun and refreshing, I guess.
Yeah. Now, with the hard enduro aspect of it, do you have a bucket full of shifters like Logan does yet?
No, I'm not. I mean, I've only wet the feet a little bit there, and I got my ass terribly kicked. I didn't even finish the race, so um, the bucket full of shifters is probably a little emptier than Logan's. It sounds like, but we're gonna keep working on that. So
I
we'll be
mean,
back.
you know your cousin. The one person I think that could like set the all-time record ever would be Arnie. Don't you think? Don't you think Arnie could like break, because I mean, he could break a bucket full of shifters hill climbing, right? I mean, that guy, if he ever got into hard enduro, he would have to start a dealership, don't you think?
He might have to. Yeah, he's pretty rough around the edges for sure.
He's the only person I ever saw bust a foot peg off hill climbing. I mean, I didn't even know that was possible. And he didn't even, he just busted it right off. We welded it up in the parking lot. It was amazing.
I actually didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, we were
I
at
didn't know
Bay
that was
City.
possible either.
Yeah, that and that one time, Arnie, he was going, I think it was that a 550 that he had, that KTM?
Yeah. Hmm.
And he was going up I think it was the Big Sky. And there was this ledge and everybody else was checked off and he just wrung it, stood it up, and that thing bucked him and just like pure strength. He just threw the bike down and just stood there. Do you remember that, Logan? That ride?
Yeah.
Like anybody else would have got their arm ripped off, but Arnie like has some sort of superhuman strength, and it was just amazing. He just treated that huge KTM like it was a little 65 and just stuck it, just like went from wide open to a dead stop and just stood there. And he was talking to the Hilker guy like, you know, what do you think of these crops this year? You know, just I never seen anything like it in my life.
Yeah, I think that's that farm boy strength, I would say. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Dude has unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. It's amazing. I think your whole family has some sort of genetic super gene where you're just a little tougher than the rest of us.
I don't know about tougher or dumber, but yeah, I mean we're probably built a little bit different in some kind of way for sure.
Definitely not dumber. You guys you're top of the chart. You keep innovating every year. I mean, we've seen so many innovations from you guys and the brick mine and Eagle Ridge. It's unbelievable. But I definitely think you guys are tougher than everybody else.
Well, I appreciate that. Hopefully we never have to find out, but we're not scared to if we need to. So
So were you a teenager when you kind of started dabbling in the racing part of it, Jay? Or how old were you when you kind of started?
yeah, so it was just strictly hill climbs up until, I mean, I started when I was 9, pretty much up until, yeah, 16, 17, 18 is when I started getting a little bit more interested in wanting to do some moto, and graduated high school, and then got into moto a little bit more, and then we started hosting some motor races here at a local Fordville track, and we all started to get into it a little bit more. I was kind of the first one who started to want to get into moto, traveled a little bit, raced our local DMC circuit, raced up in Canada a little bit.
Cool.
Kind of, I don't know, I jumped in the B class starting out, and
Wow.
got my butt kicked for a while, but ended up, I mean, just slowly making progress and being more and more competitive all the time, and just kept hammering away. Yeah.
Wow. When you say you're up in Canada, so are you originally from the Fordville area, or where are you from originally, Jay?
Yeah, so pretty much all the Jeleniks are PZEC based, which is only, I don't know, under 10 miles from Fordville. So,
Okay.
but yeah, PZEC was the hometown.
Okay. And then now, where are you? Where are you now in the world? Are you still close?
Yeah, I'm in Fordville now. So I only live about 3 miles as the crow flies, or less from the moto and Hillclimb hill. So
Awesome. Oh, that's almost too handy if you're that close, right? You probably get roped
yeah, I
into.
mean, I I don't have to load up. I can just jump on the bike and go if I want and cruise down a mile of blacktop and then a couple miles of gravel and I'm at the track.
Oh,
So
sick.
works out good.
That's awesome. That's so fun. How about hunting? I know hunting's been a big part of your life too. Have you hunted your entire life while the bikes things were going on, or is that something that was early later? When did that kind of get a hold of you?
Yeah, we all kind of started around 14. I mean, we would go out with the older, our dad and older siblings when we were younger, our uncle. But when we each got our first tags when we were 14, that's how old you have to be to get a
Okay.
gun tag here in North Dakota. At that time, you can get them now, like antlerless tags when you're a little younger. But so we started out there and then progressed more into the bow hunting side of things, probably around 16-ish for myself and a little bit younger for the younger brothers. So they just kind of latched on
Yep.
not long after I got into it and then just kind of fell in love with that and the different kind of adrenaline rush that comes along with that. I mean, it's completely different than what you get in the dirt bike world, but they each have their own little hook on you that you just can't kind of seem to let go or get enough of. So
Well,
yeah,
I mean, I love it. Like, you know, you listen to Jeremy Martin and his brother Alex, and you listen to them talking about, oh, we got to get back and get in the stands come bow hunting season. I mean, they have an awesome spot at Millville to bow hunt there. I mean, I think there's an awful lot of people that are involved in dirt bikes and involved in hunting because they're both outdoors. I mean, it's something that if you just love being outside and outdoors, that's part of it. But was your hunting experience where you're at, is it primarily whitetails? Is that what you guys are going after up there, Jay? Or
yeah. Whitetails is our main focus. I mean, North Dakota does have great opportunity. A lot of people like to come here for mule deer out on the western part of the state, on the Badlands and things, but that just really doesn't do a lot for me personally or my brothers as well. I mean, it's just pretty much diehard whitetail is if I didn't hunt whitetail, I probably wouldn't do much hunting, honestly.
yeah,
That's kind of the way I look at it. So I do enjoy still getting out. I know you like to shoot coyotes and stuff, Joel, but
yeah.
I'm not
It's because
smart enough to call coyotes. I've tried it and they always outsmart me. So like I just stick to whitetails. That's what I know and that's what I can
you're giving
sometimes
me
find a way to kill. So
no, you're giving me way too much credit. I like to talk smart, do some hunting, and then drink beer and talk smart again. That's my whole focus to coyote hunting. I don't drink while I hunt, but afterwards, that's a mainstay. And when you're out where we're at in Napoleon, I mean, there's like 4 trees out there. It's like the coyotes, if they're not in the bulrushes, they're just standing there looking at you. So it's very easy. Now, saying whitetail, where you guys, I have so much respect because a whitetail they're so smart and they're so difficult to fool. I mean, it is a lifelong pursuit to outsmart a whitetail. Wouldn't you agree?
yeah, for sure. Especially like when I mean, through natural progression, I feel like most hunters that are serious get there. You start out, you shoot a few smaller bucks or does, whatever, and eventually it's like you can only shoot so many of that. So you keep raising the bar and trying to kill older, more mature animals, bigger antlers, things like that, and it just becomes more and more of a challenge because the older deer are smarter. There's all through and through much harder to kill. So I mean,
Right.
I'm at the point now where I pretty much won't target anything unless it's at least 5.5 years old, or
Nice.
older, and
Yeah.
that's just kind of where I'm at. So
No,
I
that's
think a lot of people throughout their hunting careers eventually get to the same spot too. Just,
oh,
I mean, depending on where you're located and stuff as well. But
great.
just like dirt bikes, I mean, you're always kind of looking for that next challenge, and once you conquer something, it's on to the next thing. It's the same thing there. You
Yeah.
just there's always a new bar to set and strive for.
Right. Where you're at, is it primarily private land? Is there any public land up by you guys, or is it all private?
Yeah, there is some public, but it's mostly private.
Okay.
North Dakota is unique in the fact that if somebody doesn't actually designate their land as being closed to hunting, um, then it's pretty much open to the public for hunting. So most states, you have to have permission from a private landowner, but
Right.
yeah, you don't hear unless they actually have it posted or electronically posted online as they don't want hunting. So
I can't remember if it's during your guys' gun, but North Dakota had the plots program, which was really cool. And that's public land available to hunt, but it's only by foot. And people, I think they must have got like a tax credit, and it's very well signed, like the plots land where we're at. And you don't have to ask permission or anything. it's fine for you to go hunt and it's designated. And I thought that was pretty cool for coyote hunting because you're just trying to cover as much ground as you can. And if there's a bull rush on a plots land, we get out and walk it. It's like it's a guarantee. But in Wisconsin, we have nothing like that. Like it's unless you're in northern Wisconsin where there's some big state national forests. Around us, it's almost all private. And where we're at, you have to almost lease property in order to hunt if you don't own it. Is that kind of where you're at, where if you don't own the land, you're almost having to lease it? Or how does it work for hunting for you guys?
Yeah, it's not quite there yet, North Dakota. You still have pretty good opportunity if you don't own land. There's still a lot of people that don't hunt themselves or no family hunts, so they're willing to let you on there as long
Awesome.
as you respect the property and treat them well, things like that. It's
Yeah.
getting more and more difficult all the time, I will say that. But
Yeah.
I think we're still pretty ahead of the curve compared to other states as far as access to land without owning it, which is great
Oh,
for
yeah.
opportunity for people.
Well, and from my experience, asking permission, it's like around here, you ask somebody permission, they might have 7 acres. When you're in North Dakota, if you ask somebody permission, they might own 7 miles of road on both sides. I mean, it's just like
Right, that's true. Yeah,
I mean, they just have so much land to go do a little bit of hunting. You're just almost, they could care less at that point. But
definitely.
are you still involved? I know at one point you were trying to do some outfitting. Are you still involved in doing any outfitting or anything like that?
Not at this time. I've kind of put that on the back burner, honestly,
Okay.
just focusing on other things.
Right.
So yeah, I honestly don't know what direction that's going to go where I sit now. Um, I'm kind of at the point like I was talking about, like torn between hunting and riding, and I'm honestly a little bit more burnt out probably on the hunting side of things right now, and I'm kind of refreshed on the racing dirt bike side. So I'm
Nice.
honest right now. I'm kind of focused on that and trying to put more into racing and see if I can't put a little bit more speed behind me before I get too old. So
Hell yeah. No, hell. You can sit in that tree stand when you're 60, no problem, Jay. Get all that speed out of
definitely,
there while you got the 3 in front of your number. That helps out a lot.
yes, for sure. I agree.
Taxidermy. When did that start for your life? Was that something where you were doing it, amateurly, or is that something where you only went professional?
Yeah, so I started that. I had a friend throughout high school. I was a jock also throughout high school, you could say, and a teammate friend that I was really close with. His dad did taxidermy. So I was always just being passionate about whitetails, and as that grew, I was kind of naturally interested in taxidermy. And then I have somewhat of an artsy side behind me or creative mind
Oh yeah.
that I once I got out of high school, kind of got hooked up with the guy who my friend's dad used to work for when he learned, and then I started working for him throughout college. That was my part-time job when I was going to college, is learning taxidermy, and then just kept up with it after college and did it kind of part-time, and then decided to jump in a little bit more full-time once I kind of had gotten enough business to make it make sense. So
Oh, that's good for you, man. It's such a good career to be in. I mean, I know it's difficult. It's a very difficult career, but there's not many things where you can kind of go hard, like on and off when you want, right? And that's where I have a friend that's a taxidermist, and each to each their own. But a lot of times you can block out 7 or 10 days when you get all your hands back and everything and just hammer, 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 and you're in the zone. And then you can take some days where you can do something else. And flexibility like that in a career, that's like hidden gold, right? Because it's when you can set that schedule, and obviously all your clients want their stuff back as prompt as you can, but you have some leeway. You're not down to the minute or the hour here. I mean, have you enjoyed that with that part of taxidermy where it's kind of up to you to turn the volume up or down?
yeah, for sure. And that's you hit the nail on the head. I mean, that just having the flexibility of even just being self-employed, not necessarily specific to taxidermy, but
Yeah.
all the things I'm involved in and want to be involved in and passionate about. Like, there's no way I'd be able to, if I was to go to punch the clock 9 to 5 for somebody else. And I was doing that for a while, but just that's kind of where I decided to go. The self-employed route is just I got a life I want to live and I want things I
Yeah.
want to do, and having the flexibility to do that is certainly important. And yeah, definitely taxidermy is perfect for that. So
Here's what I'm gonna tell you right now. I know a guy up north. It's a perfect combo. You need to buy some storage units and stick to taxidermy, right? Because owning storage units, like you randomly need to go over and help people, blah blah blah. So you can't have a normal schedule, and they're guaranteed like money every month. But then the taxidermy is when you can feast it when you need to, so that having those storage units gets you some steady income, but you're still flexible to do what you want. And then taxidermy is when you can hit it when you want. It's like there's a guy that up in my wife's cabin that does that, and I'm like, what a genius way to operate, you know?
yeah, for sure. And that honestly, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm trying to navigate and figure it out because I don't want to do taxidermy full time where that's
Right.
like all I do and I have to hammer out 200 deer heads. Like
No.
then I lose the enjoyment and then I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
But so I'm kind of trying to figure out like what balances in well. And that's kind of like what I've been dabbling with, doing a little bit of graphic design type stuff.
Oh, sweet.
I have some other just incremental income type things I'm
Right.
kind of trying to build up, but to try to find the time to do it all is the hard part. But that's kind of, I guess, entrepreneurship in a nutshell is you're just one guy trying to do it all, and it takes time and effort and cutting your teeth to make it all work. So we're
Yeah.
kind of in the middle of that right now, figuring it out.
Oh yeah. Well, and you're a taxidermist. You don't want to have a lip tucker in your hand like 40 hours a week. You'll go mental, right? So it's like you need that break too. The detail that goes into that work is people. I mean, Logan and Luke know Jay, my buddy, who's a taxidermist, and it's like the detail that goes into it is crazy. And it's like it's not something that you're meant to do every day, day in, day out. It's just not meant to be like that.
Yeah, some people like it or they do it, but I think I would hate life
Yeah.
if I had to do that. I mean, if I had to just day in and day out
Right.
grind like that, I wouldn't. I guess once I lose the enjoyment from it, I guess what's the point at that
Right.
point too? So
You know, you're always like jealous of what you can't do. And like for me, like my dream would be like if I could go down to my shop and like draw a picture and sell it and like pay my mortgage with it. Like I would think like I'm cheating life at that point because I have to get in the van, drive somewhere I don't want to go, talk to people I don't want to talk to, get down on my knees and do tile work all day to do that. So I'm jealous that you can just go out to your studio or your shop and do some lip tucking and do some taxidermy and pay your mortgage. I think that's just you're cheating the system. I freaking love
I will say though, there is days I wish I could just go punch in and 8 to 5.
that. Right.
It's not all great either. So
I'm trying to give you some relief here. Trying to tell you you're on the right direction.
no, at the end of the day, I'll pick where I'm at, but there is days where it can get overwhelming and get to be a lot too. So
You think it's bad for you? Just think of Logan just watching those tracks all day long. That's always all he gets to look at is those two sets of tracks going forever. Toot the horn every now and then. That's about it. It's gotta be awful.
I was gonna say the same thing. Like some days it's great, just clocking out at 4 and nothing's your problem. You don't have to worry about a thing until the next day, or if it's over the weekend, or getting paid to not be there. But some days it really sucks working for people too.
for sure, that's like some days it would be nice to clock out at 4 and not have to worry about work. But like what I'm doing, like it never goes away. Pretty much my business is always open. My phone's always on. Trying to do the marketing side of things, like it's just there's always something. But a lot of that's self-inflicted too. Like me being I don't know if a retard's the right word, but like I like keep adding more and thinking of other things and trying this and trying that, and it's like I don't know where to stop. So
Well, I know my buddy Jay, that's a taxidermist. He had a rule that he would not mount anything with a name. Do you have any rules like that, Jay? Will you mount someone's cat for them if they ask?
I have been asked to mount a dog, I think, but yeah, no, I wouldn't do a pet.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I don't do birds or fish either. So I pretty much stick to mammals only. And if I could just stick to whitetails, I would. But with where I'm at, that doesn't quite cut it. And it's kind of a tough one too, because if you tell people no on too many of their animals, then you won't get their whitetails as well. So,
Right.
but yeah, similar to hunting, like whitetails is all I personally am passionate about.
Right.
So that's all I'm really passionate about as far as recreating as well. So
Yeah. No, that's cool. Is it pretty much everybody local? Do anybody mail stuff into you, or how far away are your customers for that?
yeah, it's mostly local, within I would say 2 hours of Fordville. I have done a little bit of shipping stuff like that, but it can be a little bit more difficult with just state regulations and stuff around
Sure.
CWD, things like that as well. So
Oh, yeah.
it can be done for sure, but and just the added expense.
Right.
A lot of times people are already kind of a little gun shy about the price, and you start adding a couple $100 of shipping, things like that on it.
Right.
Just easier for them to go to the taxidermist down the street. As long as, I mean, everybody's got their own kind of unique way they put together and qualities and things they put in their mount. But as long as you're going to somebody who's putting in the effort to give you a high quality mount, at the end of the day, I mean, I mean, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Just don't take it to the cheapest guy because it's going to look like shit. So
Yeah. It's terrible. Like when your friend's a taxidermist and you go over to somebody else's house and they're like, I can't even look. I can't even look at that deer head. Just get it out of here. You know, it's like, I'm sure
it
it's
is
just
bad.
I'm sure you see, it's like me when I go into a restaurant, I look down and I see the drain cut in the tile. I'm like, that was that guy's first day. This is just embarrassing. It's like, I'm sure it's the same thing for you when you walk in and you see mounts. You're probably like, oh my God, that was awful.
It is, and I get people call that will price check or whatever, and they'll go to the cheap guy. And generally speaking, and this isn't probably always the case, but I'm confident in my work, and most of the time, if I get a new customer or things, I mean, they love the work. They're more than happy with it. They tell me that I'm getting all their deer heads from here on out, and then I'll get them kind of maybe educated a little bit, or
Right.
they'll see one of their friends who got a mount done for cheap, and they'll send me a picture, and it's like they see the value in paying that extra
Wow.
$300 or whatever it is. I mean, you're gonna have
Yeah.
that thing for the rest of your life, so
Yeah.
it's worth coming up with the extra cash up front. For sure.
Oh, for sure. And you're mounting a trophy. You know, you're mounting something that you might never get that opportunity ever again. It's like you want it to last forever, you know?
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's like taxidermy isn't a necessity. It's like a leisure, basically. So it's um, uh, you shouldn't be looking to find the cheapest price.
Right. No.
If it's something that I mean, you don't depend on, you don't need to have it done. You could just cut the antlers off and hang them on the wall type thing for
Yep.
free. So
Yep.
you really shouldn't be looking for the best deal on the block.
No.
But everybody is going through a different part of their life and set up different financially and stuff too. So you can't blame them. But
Right.
I guess we're in America and they're free to choose, and that's the way it's going to be. So.
Right. Well, and you know what? Sometimes the right customers find you. You know, it's like my wife deals with it she does flowers for weddings, and people will just be insistent about trying to save every dollar. And it's like, you know what? Maybe not the best to chase after some of those clients. They're only going to be unhappy in the end, you know? So it's like, you don't want every client that comes in your door, you know?
Definitely. And it sure does feel good when you get somebody who pays the money and then they see the mount and they say, without even educating them, they look at it and they're like, that's the best mount I've ever had done. And I've heard that plenty of times, and that
Oh,
sure
yeah.
makes you feel good too. So
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. You mentioned off graphic. So you've been doing some designs, and is it mainly bike graphics, or what all have you been doing?
Yeah, pretty much just bike graphics, a little
Okay.
bit of logo stuff, but mostly just for friends and family, things like that.
Sweet.
Another one of those things, like just a little bit of a creative mind, and like I've always liked the idea of designing my own graphics and things like that. And eventually I decided one day I was going to teach myself how to use Adobe Illustrator. I still don't know how to use it, but I can struggle my way through and get some colors designed up on a template of a dirt bike and make it look okay. So, but yeah, I just kind of been dabbling with that, finding out that motocross graphics definitely aren't where the money is either as far as graphic design goes. But like there again, I'm just passionate about it and I like to do it. And like I see somebody's bike at the track whose graphics I designed, and I'm like, dang, that thing looks pretty sharp, and I'm pretty positive that I think it looks better than if they would have went to some Joe Blow down the street or just random website online.
Right.
And I don't have a printer or anything, so Luke is printing, not 100%, just depending on time constraints, things like that. I know he's got a lot going on too, so but 95% of my stuff is going through to get printed by Luke at ATG Design. So
Sick.
I was gonna ask too about like the learning how to use Illustrator and everything. Like, how long did it take you, and what was like some of the more difficult things? Because I remember like when I first started, I thought it was like the most ridiculous program. I was using After Effects in the Adobe World Premiere for all the video editing, and I was like, Illustrator is ridiculous. Like, my boss at work used to like make fun of me because I was like, it was the stupidest program ever. I hated it. And that was like, you know, I bought all my stuff first, and then I had to teach myself, and it was just like hell. So I just wanted to hear kind of from your point of view, you know, your process of learning it.
yeah, honestly, like I pretty much just learned specific to motocross graphics. There's a company, MKS Graphics. They have like a course just dedicated to just motocross graphics. So I pretty much just followed along that. I bought their course or whatever. And that taught me the basics of what I needed to know, just specific to that. And just I've continued expanding a little bit from there. But like if somebody who actually knows how to use Illustrator, knows what they're doing, like watched me design something, they'd probably be like, holy shit, dude, like you don't know what you're doing. But it gets the job done, and like I'm getting better all the time, but still it's just like a kind of a side thing, afterthought. So it's like I haven't put a ton of time into really diving in and getting it set up and learning it how I would if I did it full time. But kind of leaving the door open there to maybe figure something out to make something like that work too. I don't know. So probably a little more unconventional. I wish I would have went and took some classes in college and learned how to use it, that sort of thing. But yeah, really just took the course specific to it and struggled my way through with some YouTube video help and things like that. And you can probably tell when I send you a file that that's what I learned. I don't know, but
No, it's peace of mind hearing like that from you, because I feel the same way. I'm like, I feel like if I'm doing everything like probably like the most like back ass way like ever, you know, like
yeah,
designing and like clipping masks and stuff. But I was like, it works for me, so it's like I'm gonna keep doing it. But it was like the same way. Like I don't know. I had to teach myself, and still feel like I don't know what I'm doing in there. But that's part of it, I guess.
for sure. And I know I think I had to get some logos from Logan at one point. So he sent me like a BDMX file. And I know like the way he had his setup was like his clipping masks and stuff was way different. I didn't even understand how he had it set up. So I was like, I don't know if that's quicker or better, but this is how I know how to do it. So we'll just keep rolling with that. But
I think it's like speaking voodoo almost. I have no idea. I tried that Illustrator one day. I knew after about 2 hours that this wasn't ever going to be a skill set that I could figure out. I don't even know understand like how to get started.
and when I got started too, though, like it is a difficult program to learn, but I didn't realize how much I would actually use it. Like I was just kind of getting into um, more promoting and the Dakota Scramble type stuff, and just wanting or needing more graphics and things for social media and stuff like that too, and just making things look more professional. And so yeah, I've utilized it a lot more, and I'm glad I have that skill set, even if it sucks at this point. Like I still can come up with something that looks better than something that I previously would have put in like Microsoft Word and used clip art or some shit like that. So yeah, I guess we'll keep struggling, but at the end of the day, it could be worse.
I think the Brickmine logo would look good with some Microsoft Word clip art on it. But it's better that you learn Photoshop or Adobe to make all your logos, because I got to text some scab all the time that rips me off when I need a logo or something changed on something. And it's like, you think that he might help you out, but we're family, and I swear he charges me double for it.
It's triple.
Recreating logos sucks. Especially when you're dealing with this like pixelated, deep fried file that's been downgraded like 50 times. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I would like send back in the day when I would email Nick from Black Diamond like graphics of just like probably just screenshots of logos that look like shit, ones I made, you know, or tried making.
Yep.
He's like, do you have them in vectorized form and vector form? I was like, no, like just put it on there. It's whatever. And like now I'm like, oh my God, I probably put him through hell sending him just these bags of shit that he's like got to try to fix. And I'm just like, but some just people just do not like understand that until you do it, you know. But it's like the amount of hours that you have trying to fix logos or redo people's logos, or just like, it's a thankless job for sure. And you can't charge, you know, usually a crap ton because it's like a logo, but I mean, I don't know. It's not fun most of the time.
Definitely. I feel like a vector versus like a raster image or like PNG or JPEG, like it should be common sense, but like most people have no idea what the hell that means. And yes, it's frustrating as a wannabe graphic designer for sure.
So in my very limited experience of it, I had the sheet metal guy at work wanted this like pretty cool Wisconsin sign made, and the only way to do it is to get them like DXF files that we convert for them. So it consisted of me finding a JPEG or a PNG on the internet, sending it to the marketing guy, and then he made a DXF that I had to turn into like a 2D model and then reconvert it back to a DXF. But when it came from Photoshop DXF to like my computer, it turned this image into like 10,000 lines. And it was like impossible to do anything with. And it had like all these openings and just exploded. And I'm like, I've got like 3 hours into trying to make this stupid logo or picture into a DXF just to put out so we can actually cut it. I'm like, this is insanity. Just doing that type of stuff is mind numbing.
And using like a file converter is not like, I used to think like I could take a PNG and just use an online converter and turn it into a PDF, and now it's in a vector and they're happy. But it's not magic. It doesn't just automatically convert everything, and it's still just as shitty quality in a PDF as it was in a PNG. So it doesn't really help them at all.
Yeah,
but,
and like when we did that, the first one was like. When it's scaled differently, it was like 3,000 inches tall or some shit. I'm like, bud, we don't have sheet metal big enough. So I got to scale it down by like, I don't know what it was, 150 or 250 times to get it to the size I wanted. I'm like, this is just nuts.
See, Jay, Logan and Luke are always effing with me. When you guys were talking about DNG and PGI, all I could think of is I'm pretty sure DMX was a rapper in like the early 2000s. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about right now. I was so lost. Luke, is there an option just to turn my screen black when you guys start talking like that? Because I couldn't follow. I had nothing.
He can give you the boot if that helps.
I was completely lost. I didn't know what was going on. See, I'm sorry. It's a whole nother language. I don't get it.
Yeah, it is.
You would fall in line with like 90% of the population, I would say, who don't know the difference between files.
I'm also in line with 90% of the public where once you get an off graphic or an ATG design kit on your bike, you will never ride a bike without one again. Like it doesn't even look like a dirt bike anymore unless it's got a kit on it. I'm so spoiled now. It's like that's how you personalize your motorcycle. It's so awesome, the art that you and Luke put into them. I mean, that's how we make them ours. I mean, it's epic. All the different colorways and how you do things. I freaking love it. Like when we were talking with Luke Wilder and what was his wife's that you made, Luke? What was that?
It was a Grinch themed 110.
Yeah, a Grinch themed KLX. That's sick. You know, how cool is that? So it's like, that's how you make it yours. I love that stuff.
Yeah, it's really cool too. Like I like looking just at other people's stuff, like Jay's designs, like his are so like unique. And I've pulled like probably a fair amount of like, you know, different aspects as far as it's like number plate things. I was like, oh, I want to try that on a kit. Like it's just cool looking at other people's stuff because they all have like, you know, obviously a different style, and you know, I don't know, it's pretty cool. Just, you know, everyone's got their own little thing, and every dirt bike kit's gonna look a little different.
What was
definitely, and that's like, to kind of relate it back to taxidermy, like I was saying, it feels good when somebody like, this is the best deer I've ever had or whatever. It's the same thing with graphics. Like you get people who've never had a kit and they're like, this is my first kit, whatever, and this is what I want, and then you get it done and they're like, oh, this is awesome. Like, this is exactly what I wanted. And my bike looks sick. Thank you so much. And like, it's just like fun for me. And that's like where the passion comes in. And it's like, now it's like hard to tell people, no, I don't have time to do it because I know like the end product and they're going to be happy and their bike's going to look good. They're going to just, I don't know, like look good, ride good kind of concept. Like just
Yeah.
makes you kind of just refreshing, I guess, to roll up to the track or a race and just have everything looking sharp. So
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I love that. That's as much a part of it as actual riding is. Like we work all these extra hours to have this fun, cool stuff. It's like, and you're not spending $10,000 for these kits. You know, it's like you look at what a wheel setup costs or whatever. It's like what a kit costs for a bike. It's relatively a good deal of the bang for the buck for it.
and that's why we don't make crap for money on motocross graphics.
Yeah,
But
it should be a lot more.
Yeah.
it should be. But then obviously nobody's gonna be in the market for them either. But and part of that's my problem because I don't have my own printer. I haven't invested in it, so I'm obviously like making less than I would if I had equipment and had it paid off and that sort of thing. But I honestly had no idea where it was going to go. I've done way more kits than I ever anticipated. A lot of that's been through Full Throttle Motorsports and Jeremy telling
Cool.
his coworkers or his employees and customers about me, things like that. So I'm very appreciative for that. He's been a big supporter. I got my first kit going. Maybe Harris has been going to try to qualify for a motocross national last year, but I got graphics on his bikes and he's going off to Southwick to try qualify this weekend. So it's like,
Sweet.
maybe I can get a bike into the main show or whatever. That'd be pretty cool. So
Hopefully.
so I think he's a pretty good sand rider. He's got a good shot. It'd be cool to see him. He's been so close before, but hasn't quite made one yet. So
Wow.
hopefully this weekend is the time.
Fun. Oh man. Good on you for having your toes in a couple different worlds, Jay. I mean, that's not easy, but it's also, like you said, like you were a little burnt out on the hunting. Like, imagine if you didn't have both worlds to live in. Like you'd feel lost at times where it's how nice is it? Even frickin' Logan, I cannot believe it. He golfs now. I mean, that guy, if you would have had 10 thoughts in his head, 11 of them were motorcycles. And now we finally got like a half of a thought about golf. Like, it's just nice to have something other to break it up with. Cause when you get older, you can't do it nonstop, you know?
So nothing
Definitely.
good comes of getting hurt. Start doing dumb stuff like that.
Yeah. And guess what? He can't play freaking cards either. That idiot will not learn how to play cards.
I can't play cards either. My wife's family loves to play cards, like at family get-togethers and stuff, and like it doesn't matter if it's like goldfish, like they always have to retrain me on every single game that we ever play. And as far as like an actual card game with a normal deck of cards, like count me out because I'm gonna be lost, and I'll also never golf either. So
Yo, that's what's caught in my chain. Fucking card games. God, I hate them.
I was gonna say, could we just say it's gonna be euchre for Cotton Logan's chain?
Yeah. Every single thing about them, I just can't stand.
Don't count out golf yet, Jay. You're still too young. Once you get a little older, you don't ever count it out yet. I'm gonna send you a Kid Rock quote about golf. It'll sum it up just fine.
if I get into golf, it will just be driving the golf cart and sending shit on the golf course. I'm pretty positive.
That's fine too. That's part of golf. That's part of it. That's part of golf.
Yeah, I could get down with that. There's always some adrenaline involved in that, but
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, we want to know more about Jay, but we also really want to know you have so many hours and phone calls and text messages into all these events that are going on that have happened this summer and are going to happen. Let's talk. We talked about ATG design. Let's listen to our little break. Let's hit the can. And you got a little bit more time, Jerry. We could come back and we could talk Dakota Scramble, Brick Mine, Fordville, and we still got to talk a little bit more about travel, if that's okay as well.
yeah, for sure. Whatever you guys need, I'm here.
Man, all right, let's take a little break here from this awesome sponsor. We'll be right back.
Against the Grain Design and Print is proud to announce its partnership with Find the Line. Against the Grain works with clients to build their business and racing goals through the design and production of premium stickers and decals. We offer one-of-a-kind subscriptions for a flat monthly fee that can save you hundreds of dollars. Custom mailers, white label printing, motocross graphics, and anything else you can think of, we have you covered. It's time to print your passion. Visit atgdesign.co or email sales@atgdesign.co.
Hey there, Find the Line listeners. We will always be looking for partnerships for Find the Line. Please email findthelinepod@gmail.com to see how we can work together to grow your brand. Once again, that's findthelinepod@gmail.com. Now, let's get back to it.
Woo! Oh yeah! Thank you to our sponsor, ATG. That's if you want to go fast, you gotta look fast, right, boys? Nope. Logan said no. Logan said nope. You never have to look fast. He's always trying to be a sleeper.
I have to reserve comments on this section.
He's got his toes in a couple ponds. We get it. Mm-hmm. Well, Jay, man, been really fun hearing about you and kind of what was the propulsion that was stoking this fire. Because as we said in the beginning, you are a big part of the lifeblood of North Dakota All Things Cool. I mean, I know that you have a lot of help on all these fronts, but let's not forget that you're in all these fronts. So the first one I want to talk about is the North Dakota or the Dakota Scramble series. How did all of this get started?
Honestly, so yeah, Dakota Scramble series, we just kind of, there was a promoter that put on the Pembina Gorge Dirt Riders Harescramble. They kind of organized a meeting together at Mike Porter's shop one night with me, my brother, and a couple people from their club, and Mike Goder and his son-in-law. And we kind of, at that time, there was just one Harescramble in North Dakota. And we were going to put our Fordville one on for the first time as a club. And then there was the Frostfire Snow Scramble happening as well. So there was 3 events, and they're like, we should do some sort of series. So that's where it started. We came up with a name that night in the shop, held the series that year. It was just kind of a loose thing, like just tally some points, handed out some awards at the end of the year, and everybody had fun. Came around to the next year, and it was like, I don't think anybody really thought about it or even talked about it. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, is this going to happen again or not? It didn't seem like anybody was really going to do anything or talking about it. And I'm like, well, fuck it then. I guess I'm doing it. I'm going to just figure it out, make it happen, and see what we can do. And kind of coincided with just some other people showing interest in putting on events around the state. There was another new Harescramble that had popped up that first year. They wanted to come and join the series, and then there was some other people who had a course and they had never held a race or anything, and then they wanted to hold a race, and I kind of went out there, checked that out, and they wanted a little bit of affirmation that their event would work good for a race. They weren't quite sure with just overall room and things that they had for pits and parking and camping, stuff like that. And yeah, just kind of all coincided at the same time. I was the one who said, I'm going to make it happen, and just continue to work along with kind of each individual promoter, and along with learning the graphic design thing, like that's came in really handy with putting together some stuff. And
so you just pulled the sucker out of the ashes, Jay. You just reached down and be like, here's what we got right here. And you lifted it up yourself. That's badass. And I'm looking now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 races in your series this year.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I wouldn't say I pulled it out of the ashes, but like I was very confident like nothing would have happened that second year if I would have done it. Whether or not something would be happening today without me putting in the effort, I don't know honestly. But yeah, it feels pretty good to be where we're at, and knowing that like all the positive feedback and support we get from all the riders, and like everybody's excited to go to all the rounds, and just
they look
looking at
amazing. Yeah, on Insta, they look amazing. Like the socials that you're putting out, the trails look so fun. Looks like you're getting awesome racing from the riders and the courses. I mean, it sounds like, just from what I've been seeing, just a huge success all around.
For sure. And I think like being year 4 into the series, I mean year 3 with like me just kind of putting my best effort forward and trying to grow it. I mean, I think we're doing pretty well, honestly, for a 4th year series with where we're at, and just seeing like people's talent levels and having more events and and having more reasons to go racing, I think it's just progressing everybody's skill set so much quicker. Whereas like before, you had one event a year to kind of gauge how good your skill set was, and like it just people would never jump up a class because it's like they only had one chance to prove what they could do, and if you don't have the best race and all the different aspects like that. So it's been I think it's really progressed the level of our talent. I mean, we're still behind Border Battle a little bit, which we've been working with those guys over there and
Cool.
doing some joint stuff and trying to help build them up and have them build us up at the same time, and just hopefully grow the sport in general and
Oh,
give
yeah.
everybody a good opportunity to go racing. Yeah.
Just never forget when you're at those events, Jay, and you see all the little kids smiling, all the old men and women smiling, the families that made a weekend adventure and memories. That's due to yourself and the people that have been helping you and everybody else make that happen. Like you're literally making thousands of people's and hundreds of people's dreams and aspirations. And I mean, when you put a trophy on the wall, there's a huge memory attached to that you tap back into every time you look at it, and you get to be part of the reasons that happened. So I hope that helps fuel you. And it's like, I hope people are appreciative for what you're doing.
Yeah, it definitely does. And people are. I mean, I would say the feedback I get is 90% positive. There's a
Awesome.
little bit that like I mean, people complaining or don't agree with the rules, this and that, but it's like,
That's the Minnesotans. That's what we call those people.
I mean, yeah, you could go, that'll work. Yeah. So
Yeah. See, that's what we can agree on. That's one thing we can agree on, Jay. We both hate our freaking neighbor, right? Stay in the metro area. We don't want you. All right.
But I will say, disclaimer, as the manager of the series, like we're close enough to Minnesota that I do need those guys to come over. So
Okay.
like just don't be on my ass about the rules, and we'll be cool.
Yeah. All right. All good. Logan, didn't you participate in a joint event?
Yeah, we did. I've done the Border Battle one, both years, and it's actually been really cool to see not what Border Battle brings to them, but what they bring to Border Battle too. It's the biggest turnout that we've had at a AA race all year, and
Cool.
I would say close to half were the North Dakota guys, or maybe a couple of Canadians or something like that too in it. So it's been awesome. I love it, and it's pretty fun to show up to a regional Harescramble and have 25 plus AA riders on the front row. Like it's sweet.
That's killer.
You don't get that at many of them. I don't know if there were 25 A riders total in the Harescramble last weekend in Minnesota. Wow. So
Dang.
You're doing something right.
Yeah, no, and I honestly just looked at the results and I was like, wow, they only had I think it was like 9 AAs and we had 9 AAs. So I'm like, cool. Like 2 years ago we had 3 or whatever. And like I said, like we're still probably a little bit lagging in speed versus that, but it's like we're pushing, we're trying to get there. And I mean, through more and more racing, hopefully we can tighten that gap and do some joint events and mix things up a little bit more with the super quick guys. So
we have a lot to talk about, but I had a couple of questions. Just the 5 races. I don't know towns in North Dakota, but how spread out through the state? Because I see Appleton, Minnesota. Obviously, that's in Minnesota, but is that Western? Are you like bordering North Dakota, Appleton, or where is that?
No, it's actually down southeast of Fargo. It's actually closer to South Dakota than it is North Dakota. Kind of like Alexandria-ish area, maybe.
Okay, all right.
So yeah, it's actually a pretty good, I want to say 4 hours from here. So it's a pretty good hike for most people.
Okay. No, I mean, we get that in racing, Hillclimb and District 16 and 23. Just about everything was a dual point event. That's just there's not 100 events. So I get that. And then obviously round 2 is Fordville. And we know where Fordville is. You're northern, I mean, would you call it northeast North Dakota?
Yeah, northeast corner of the state, yep.
And then Burlington, North Dakota, where's that at? I see that's round 3.
That would be just outside of Minot, which is northwest corner of the state.
Okay, all right. That's got to be some crazy country then.
Yeah, it's so it's not like kind of what you're picturing. I think it's actually pretty similar to what we got in the Northeast. It's like rolling hills and trees and stuff. It's not like Badland type terrain or anything like that. It's just where the race is at, it's just a cow pasture. It's actually very similar to like Fortville. It just doesn't have as big of or as steep of hills probably. So
Okay, because I mean, I'm thinking of more like the western North Dakota. You get in some parts, and it's pretty crazy the topography of North Dakota. But then we have Dunseith or Dunseith, or how do you say that? I'm
yeah,
saying it wrong.
Dunseith, and that would be like north central North Dakota. So everything like other than the joint event with Border Battle in Appleton is on the northern half of the state.
And then the
Yeah.
last one is Vang, North Dakota, and I've never heard of that either.
Yeah, that's like I don't even know I don't know like population or from what I know, Vang is like a cemetery. Honestly, like I don't know if there's houses
That's
or what.
awesome.
So that race is only like less than 10 miles straight west of where the brick mine is held.
Oh, nice.
Just
Okay.
if you kept going down that same road, that's where that race is, and
Oh.
just a family's coulee out there. So
Sweet. That's awesome. Well, dude, how cool is that? I mean, 5 races, that's a legit series. That's really cool, man.
yeah, for sure. And I'm hoping Border Battle's got some closer to us. They're putting on some first year events this year in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, and Fergus Falls. So
Okay.
I'm hoping to continue working with those guys possibly and finding something that maybe works a little bit better with our demographic. Appleton is great, but I know it gets to be a lot of travel for the people that don't want to drive 4 or 5 hours, especially if you're coming from the northwest part of the state, which we have a pretty good pocket of riders from out that way. I mean, they're driving dang near 8 hours to get to that race, which is it's tough to expect people to do. So
Only hill climbers would do that without a thought. That's special
Right.
to us, right? But
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we've talked about it so many times with different guests. But in our little niche sports, high tides raises all ships, right? So let's hope that the people at Border Bell, and man, we really like to have that guy on. What's the organizer, Logan? What's his name? Gary. We'd love to have Gary on and talk to him, because just from everybody I've talked to, it sounds like another super passionate man when it comes to racing and bikes. And that's the kind of people we love to talk to. But how cool is that you guys talk, and all the front row guys on AA, when you guys join together? That's what it's all about. We want to put the most talent in the most concentrated area and watch what happens. I mean, that's what it's all about when it comes to racing.
For sure, yeah, I know it's been cool to see just in the short time that we've been series and working with them. I mean, I think if we continue to work together, they could definitely put on some pretty cool events and have some pretty cool memories.
And then just if people are listening, and I'm curious, but how does it work for the Dakota Scramble series? Let's say me, old fat cheeseburger eater, wants to come race, right? So I sign up? Let's say I signed up for A class or whatever. What are you looking at for entries, and what does it take to be a part of it? I'm guessing AMA member, and what are the entry fees and stuff like that?
Yeah, so actually, no, we're not part of the AMA. We're not
Okay.
sanctioned with the AMA in any fashion. We don't have a membership fee currently.
Okay.
We've been lucky enough to, I should have mentioned this sooner, like I've done what I've done, but like without the help of sponsor money,
Wow.
none of what I've done would have been possible either. So that's enabled us not to have to charge people a membership fee to come up with some of the money that it takes for the expenses and things like that.
Jeez.
So yeah, I mean, really, you just sign up for a race, and depending on what class, like, it depends on. We usually give a discount if you sign up online versus signing up at the race, just because you don't have to deal with money and it just streamlines things so much. It's nice. But it can range anywhere from some mini classes, like the 50s. It's all kind of up to promoter discretion too, but you can ride for free in
Wow.
50 classes.
Okay.
If you sign up online, or from $20 up to, we just did increase the AA entry up this year up to 100,
Okay.
just because we've made that a mandatory 120% minimum payback to that class.
Sick. Yeah.
So
Hell
that's
yeah.
kind of our way of boosting that a little bit, and then those guys are putting up more money, knowing that they're racing for money.
Nice.
But if you're not racing in that class, I mean, you're looking at $40 to $60 to race.
Perfect. That's what a deal. What a freaking deal. And then how does it work for you guys? Because I know, like, talking with some of the people running Harescrambles around, a lot of them camp. So is it like a camping aspect? Are people coming Friday night or staying the night Saturday? Or how does that work at your venues?
Yeah, it really kind of depends on the venue. Like here in Fordville, we typically don't have a ton of campers because we just do a 1 day event. We don't do like a lot of promoters will do a 2 day thing where they'll do like a team race or like a charity race like the night before the race, and then they'll have a lot more people show up and camp and have that sort of atmosphere.
Okay.
But we've just done the 1 day, so we haven't had as many campers at that venue. We were gonna this year, but then there was that was the night of some strong storms coming through this part of the country. So we had a lot of people elect not to come and camp, just didn't want to worry about getting their campers hailed out, wind damage, things like that.
Sure.
But yeah, I would say 50% of the races that there's a 2 day kind of team race camping, then serious race on Sunday or
Well, dude,
whatever.
like
So.
I bring it up because I only talk about things that interest me. Sorry, but I mean, I just got a camper in the recent years, and I freaking love it. And it's like as a family, like if you can come and pay $100 or whatever, 120, get into AA, right? And you can come and camp that night with your family, and your kids can huck freaking their bicycles all over, and everybody has a whole fun. What an awesome event. And you're not even charging a membership fee. I mean, that is generous. Like, I think that you're being very generous, but people don't mind paying $20 to be a part of the series. Everybody knows that money is going to good places too. So I would never feel bad about charging a little bit of money to be a part of it, you know?
Yeah, and I've thought about that, but I mean, from the get-go, is like I don't really know what this series is yet or where it's going to go.
Sure.
Just kind of wanted to keep it as cheap as possible for people, and
Cool.
and not let an entry fee be a barrier for somebody
That's
who doesn't want to do the whole
right.
series or something like that type of thing. So yeah, I think I mean, as long as I can keep doing it without having to justify charging for entry fees, which so far the support I got with sponsors and things, I don't think there's any worry of. I mean, short term at least two,
Yeah.
3, 4 years on the road of having to do anything like that. So
Very generous of you. Man, we could do a whole show on this, but that's very generous. And thank you. Thanks to all the families, the riders, the kids, the moms, the dads, everybody that got to be a part of this series. Thank you for all your time and energy in it. That is very generous. Also, now I just want to get right to it. Brick Mine. Oh my God. I mean, this is my favorite hill. Well, I'm gonna say, there we go. North Dakota has hills. Love it.
That's awesome.
Save me an XL of one of those. I saw limited quantities. I definitely need one of them. But this hill is just something else. Logan hates it now. It's his least favorite hill because it's, he can never ride it.
Completely false information.
Fake news. No, but
Fake.
I remember seeing pictures years ago of, I think it might have been you and Harold Waddell and a few other people just walking this area. Can you kind of tell our listeners like how this just monster of an 800 foot? Is that what she is? What do you guys claim it for a total?
we say 750, but I think it's actually just short of that. But 750 was just like a good even number, and it depends on if you're going from the back of the whoops or like the regular start line or whatever too. So we just put 750 on it, all good.
We'll round it off at 999 feet. So we're going to round it off. It's the second tallest hill climb hill in North America to X12, right? That's the longest one, but it's a monster of a hill, and it's just this natural, unbelievable face. And you want to talk about skeptical people driving to Walhalla. A lot of skepticism about a 750 foot hill driving there, but wow, is it worth it? So how did it all start out? Whose idea? How did all of this hill climb start?
And I don't know exactly. I was not completely interjected. I was just getting to the point where I was like getting more involved and getting to the point where I was voted in as vice president, things like that. But I want to say probably Ross Johnson and maybe a couple other people had just. Actually, I do know Roger Gorder, which is Mike Gorder's brother, which is the landowner of Fordville. And Dustin Gorder, his kid, they have a cabin just across the way from where this hill is located. One of their window stares like directly out at this hill, and I think they kind of always were like, that would make a perfect hill climb hill or something. And eventually people got feet on it and got in contact with the landowner, and they said, yeah, we're open to it. Let's make something happen. And then it was like voting and making decisions as a club on if we were going to do it and how it was going to happen, that sort of thing. Some trees had to be torn out at the top to make it doable. Just putting all those little pieces into play, and then eventually just held our first event. And first year was nothing spectacular by any means, but just have continued to try to improve and progress since. And I think being a part of the Motoclimb Super Series has been a big part of that, and kind of just gives our event that event its own identity, and like kind of gives us something, being a part of the series, to kind of latch onto and market and that sort of thing.
I'm sore about it because I love Motoclimb Super Series, but literally if you said we're gonna pedal race tricycles up the brick mine, I'm there, right? Like I don't care. Like I don't care what it is. But my first experience was the first year you guys had it, and I walked the hill and you guys had the timers like 20 feet over the top. And I'm talking to Lee and I was like, dude, like, I love that you got the lights over the top. And he's like, we don't like it if you get a time and you don't make the hill. And I said, yeah, me neither. I like this. Just that was my first introduction to people involved with making this hills. Like, you ain't getting a time unless you get over and you summit this hill. I'm like, I fully agree. Let's go. But the hill was unbelievable from the very first onset. But I miss the King of the Hill. God dang it. You guys had the most epic King of the Hills there ever.
Joel, it was back last year and you weren't there.
Damn it. Damn family got in the way.
You can't complain about something when you skip it.
I know. I wasn't even injured. I forgot it was there. My apologies. Well, thank you for bringing it back. That's awesome.
But yeah, no, like that's like always open to feedback from riders and things. And I know you had always expressed that to me from day one, like when it went away. And like, it wasn't always like the best thing for us to do maybe any given year, but last year worked out. So we did it. And like, that's taking that feedback and knowing that people see value in it, and just being a little more comfortable to make decisions, for the best of our event, and making it the best show it can be, and wanting people to come back and experience it, that sort of thing. So
that's why you guys are the best. The venue is unbelievable. If you are within 12 hours of Walhalla, North Dakota, you have ever seen a motorcycle operate, if you've ever smelt one, if you've ever seen one, go. This is the venue you want to be at. You guys go all out on every aspect. My daughter, Lucille, it's her very favorite venue. Every time we go there, she loves it. It is so fun. You guys have everything. It's from spectating to just the ambiance of you are just taming this monster of a hill. I mean, literally everything is going on there. I absolutely love it. And I can't wait to be a part of it, to be back. So, and I'm just so thrilled that last year you guys had the King of the Hill. I had to step on myself to get it brought up, but I just think it's the coolest thing ever.
yeah, no, it's good to hear that feedback. There's a few things like, obviously we can only deal with like what we're dealt with, how the land is laid out and stuff. And it would be nice if the pits and things were closer to the hill, stuff like that. But like, we really just do not have control over that there.
Yeah.
It would be nice to bring in more spectators than we do. We could definitely, I think, do better on the marketing side of things, but it's kind of the world we live in, and we're not densely populated at all up here. We have some bigger cities and stuff, but nothing compared to like a metropolitan area like other areas have, and stuff too. So, things like that would be nice to be able to get some water on the hill things. I have ideas and things on what we can do there. But overall, yeah, we're very fortunate to have a piece of ground to work with that we do. And I don't think you're alone in expressing like your thoughts on the event and how much you like it, and
Love it.
so I think it kind of boggles my mind sometimes on like why people aren't coming and giving it a shot.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
what do we need to do as a promoter to get you there? I guess we're paying some of the best money in the country to the riders and
Yes.
things like that. So it's like, if somebody doesn't know about that, I guess they must probably live under a rock if they're in the hill climb world, I would assume. But
I just
definitely always open to feedback on ways we can communicate that better if we need to be. So
Right. And especially, yes, you're not right next to a huge city, but it's such an easy drive from Billings, right? Like from Billings to Walhalla. I mean, it's a very easy drive. You're zero tolls from Billings to Walhalla. You can do it in an easy day. It's so easy. And there is just a ton of riders. And when I talk to, like Tristan Alexander, he is just pumped. And, he missed out on a few years, but the one thing is once you get a rider there, they're back, right? So it's just, you got to get that first lick out of them, and then they're coming back.
For sure, yeah, and he's got a title to defend, so I sure hope he's back and ready to throw down, because there's going to be a lot more people that are hungry for that too. I mean, not the tide necessarily is changing, but with Logan out, I mean, he's had a ton of success there and has won the event how many times, and
Right.
I don't know the status of Harold. He's obviously had his kind of reign there at the top and successful days and stuff as well. So I don't know if he's coming back. I know he sold his 600, and I think he's still got his open bike, but I think there's just a lot of unknown, and I mean, who could come to play and maybe win it this year. So
Be fun. I did hear that there's a chance that Jake Anstedt might be there, which everybody's gonna be fighting for second place if that's the case. And then I'd heard several fast people wanting to come, but unfortunately, I did hear a bunch of the California guys not coming, so that sucks. But what are you gonna do? The other thing I wanted to ask about there is the landowner. I got a chance to meet, I believe it was his son, at the top of the hill a few years back. Awesome guy, and told me some history about the land, which was really interesting. But how are the landowners liking the event so far now that you've had some history to it?
I think they're all for it. I mean, I think they've been happy with the direction everything has gone, and they always come and enjoy the event themselves as a family and stuff. So
Sweet.
I honestly can't tell you any negative feedback we've gotten from them.
Perfect.
That would be my brother Sean, who's does most of the dealings with them as our club president.
Okay.
But yeah, everything I know is they're on board to keep it rolling as long as we can. I mean, as long as something, you just never know. I mean, things can happen too, but people's circumstances can change and things. But I
Right.
think we're good to keep rolling
Awesome.
the way things are right now.
So future looking strong for the brick mine then.
Yeah, I don't have any reason to believe it wouldn't be.
Awesome. All right. So then we talk future. Do you think there's a chance we ever get another moto base at the brick mine? And was that the most epic thing that you've ever seen before?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy to see in person. Even watching videos now, it's like still pretty nuts. But I might have to look into what it takes to get a parachute and do the training, and I'll do it.
That I mean, now in our CGI lifestyle, the video that you posted a few days ago, that looks fake. Like it's like
sure,
that
yeah.
doesn't look real. I mean, it's how he can get that high up and that far out. I mean, Bradley Sums is a boss. That is unbelievable.
For sure, yeah, I know it's pretty crazy, and I don't think like we even realized at the time like what we were doing or anybody there, like how big it probably was or how cool it was going to be. It was just like this guy showed up. He wants to jump off the top of the hill. We'll let him do it, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, that's insane. It's insane. And we know what the top of the hill looks like. How you guys got that run in for him, that must have taken days to get that worked out.
It wasn't. It was like a little bit of skid steer work, I think, for like a few hours, and it wasn't the cleanest run in. Like if I was going to do that, I think I'd want it maybe a little bit cleaner, but he was comfortable with it, and obviously it worked out well. So,
Wow, man.
but yeah, it's pretty wild for sure.
That's
I have some
wild.
other videos. I kind of want to repost those other views of that. I just haven't. I didn't want to like people to think that we're doing that this year or something. I guess, but at some point I kind of want to bring them back to life just so people can, because that's one of the videos I posted that's probably done the best and got the most shares and things is that, which has nothing to do with our event this year, but it's still like a cool thing to look back at for sure.
I don't think I ever saw a view from the top. Did anybody have of him hucking up to the ramp from the top? That would be interesting. Because, I mean,
Yeah.
it's got to be all kinds of sketchy. Him coming into that ramp, going freaking way too fast.
Yeah, and I can't remember on the one. There is a view, but I can't remember if you actually see him hit the ramp like fully or not. But there's also a GoPro view of it as well. So there's for sure a couple more views of it. I'll have to get those up at some point.
Amazing. Just absolutely amazing. Once again, thank you to yourself, your family, everybody involved with making the brick mine happen. I mean, for me and my whole family, it's something that we look forward to every year, and just can't wait to be part of it again this year. It's gonna be awesome. So that fast forwards us to the day after the brick mine, Fordville, and this is where it kind of all started for this. And you had mentioned earlier it was 2000 that the Fordville race started. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think the club was established in '99, and the first race would have been in 2000. Yes.
Do you have the number of collarbones that have been left on the top of that hill? That's what I want to know. Can I get it right from the horse's mouth?
We don't have an official tally, but I would probably venture to guess it's in the double digits.
Do the hill crews have like little bones painted on their shirts for every collarbone that's been left at the top? And then my next follow-up question is, are we going to see a French collarbone left on the top of that hill this year?
I sure hope not. Honestly, I think like
I'm kidding too. I'm kidding, Jay.
yeah, I know you're kidding, but I mean, it has happened obviously. So like, there's only so much we can deny. But like, I think it's gotten better the last few years. And Logan, you've ridden it, so you could probably speak to it a little bit more too. But like, I don't know, we've just been leaving the hill basic and kind of guys have been figuring out where to hit it and where they're getting popped if they want to jump the top, or we haven't been building like a little kicker over the top. And the idea behind that was never to make it dangerous. It was to make it not dangerous. But I mean, you make something like that, it doesn't matter. Like somebody eventually is going to hit it wrong and get kicked. So it's like kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. But it's pretty much the only option we got. Like it's a 180-foot hill, and if you're hauling ass over the top, like it goes with a steep drop off after, and like, what are you going to do? So
the issue is that it's not the hill; it's an issue with people's decision making. It's no different than Columbus. If you go up to the top of that hill, third gear wide open with zero plan, you're probably going to eat shit. If you go to the top of Fordville wide open with zero plan, you're probably going to eat shit.
Right.
And obviously there's some where it's just accidents or you get pointed the wrong way and fall off that edge or whatever. But most of them are just poor decision making.
I want to be on there.
I could argue with that. Like it's like hill climbers obviously are known for sending it, and a lot of times you have people sending it that, not that everybody who's gotten hurt didn't know what they were doing or have control of their bike, but like they're sending it, and I'm just as guilty of this as anyone else. Like you're just going to send it and see what happens, and that can bite you when you do that. So
I want to be on the record as I've always just had fun with it, and that I would always have went. We always have family stuff because it's always the 4th of July, and I usually negotiate to go to Brick Mine, and I've always like had to hammer all the way back to the family cabin for the rest of the week. So that's the big reason why I've never went there, just because of family stuff. But it's been fun. And then I saw how much fun Luke was having picking on people, crashing on top. So then I joined in, and I wanted to have fun with people crashing. So I'll blame it partly on Luke as well. He was
it's fair, and it's all funny. Yeah, I mean you can't hide from it. So.
No, but the other thing too I was going to add is I talked to a lot of racers, obviously, and I've talked to a lot of racers for a lot of years, and I've never, ever, ever talked to somebody that has went there and not had anything but an absolute blast. Everybody says the same thing. It was one of the funnest events they've ever been to. It is ultra beautiful. And I remember even Dave Perigo and Hillclimb Cop just saying like how nice all the people were and how they got there early and there was an airplane coming in to spray for mosquitoes. And he's like, it was just an amazing event. And I mean, literally, people complain to me about all kinds of things. I've never heard a complaint about it. So I mean, that goes to show, out of the hundreds of racers that I've talked to, what an epic event it is. That people just love that event.
Yeah, for sure. And it's yeah, I mean, as far as like a beautiful property, I don't know of another event that would be better than, I mean, maybe equal, but just like all the trees and by the river, like the setting is just absolutely perfect.
Yeah,
Mhm.
cool.
Unfortunately, it's like a small hill, so that like limits it a little bit. You could make the argument it's not as exciting to watch, or maybe some people think it's more exciting. I don't know, but like, yeah, it's just a different style, and it's you got one style in Brickmine on Saturday and a completely different style in Fordville on Sunday. So
I haven't even been to Fordville before, and Logan can confirm this, but I'm going to think that compared to Anamosa, Iowa, Fordville is a monster of a hill, and Anamosa gets like 2,000 spectators packed into a little shoe hole. Am I wrong, Logan?
Pretty similar. Pretty similar.
I think that Fordville has it by about 40 or 50 feet, though, doesn't it?
Not that much, but it's a little bit longer. Again, most is like 140.
Yeah. So
well,
see, it's not all about the size of the hill, Jay.
yeah, for sure. And I mean, back in the heyday, like we did pull, like this would have been in the early years of the event. I mean, we were pulling, I think estimates were like 3 to 4 thousand people,
Yeah, I
spectators.
remember when I
Um,
first went, it was
Wow.
huge.
Dang.
but the world has just changed so much since then, and it's like all those people were, it was new to them at the time, and it's not new anymore. I mean, this is our, I don't even know, I mean, 25th year or 26th year, something like that. So,
Cool.
um, yeah, it's just like trying to keep people coming in, and I don't think we'll ever get to those numbers again, unfortunately. I think we've kind of leveled off at that maybe 700 to 1,000 on a good day, if the weather's good, things like that. But
Right.
I think just as a club, I mean, in my mind, we still can do better as far as marketing and stuff too. It's just it does take a lot of time and effort and money to do it properly.
Right.
And I mean, it's a struggle
And
to find the time and manpower to do it. So
and so much is involved revolved around the weather that day and everything. But the other thing too is so weird, like going to all these different events. And I'm so excited to go to Fordville and experience it. But like, you go to White Rose and that hill, it's not huge. It's exciting to watch. It's fun to watch. But they have fun things where people know that they can get a fish sandwich that's really good every year. They have fish sandwiches, right? They key upon that, and people in Pennsylvania are like people in Wisconsin, and most of them are degenerate gamblers, and they have a ginormous 50-50 pot. That 50-50 pot, I swear, probably gets 400 or 500 people there just for that, because they buy $10 worth of tickets, they might win $4,000, right? And then they do a bike giveaway, and it's these events where you go on year after year after year. If you can get lucky and key into something that nucleus of fans or people like, you can get them back by just repeating things. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, because we see it at Freemansburg and at White Rose and the Devil's Staircase. Well, Devil's Staircase, that's a monster of its own. They just do everything. They market, they throw a party. I mean, there's nothing they don't do. But for these other events where we see lots of success for spectators, that means success for the club, right? When you have a good crowd, that solves a lot of problems. So it'd be fun to see as you guys keep going, because you feel like you've been doing it forever. But a lot of these people that I've just named have been doing it for 70 years or 50 years. So it's like you've got a lot of experience, but now it's like now is where you really gotta key on, figure out what your people want and what you're gonna give them.
yeah, for sure. And I think I mean part of the reason like why they had such great turnouts when they first started back in the mid 2000s was it was a big party atmosphere and stuff. And just like Wisconsin, people like to drink. It's the same thing over here in North Dakota, and they like to party and have fun, and that brought a lot of people in. But there was just some things that happened and liability issues that it just really kind of scaled back on that as a club, and that definitely hurt the overall turnouts and things, and that just hasn't been the direction where we wanted to go. But yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm very mindful of that. I know like we need to make it more of a destination event than just like a moto climb. There needs to be other things going on or other reasons for people to come. So maybe they've seen a few bikes go up the hill and now they want to go do this with their kids or their kids can just disappear for a while and go have fun with something or whatever it may be.
Right.
So that's like something we're mindful of to try figure out. We're always considering making maybe some sort of date change. I know our events are known for always being on the 4th of July weekend, but I think that can be a benefit for us, but also a negative where people have a lot of other stuff going on with family and things around that time too.
Yeah.
So me personally, I truly believe that we need to make a date switch. Now I don't know where that falls, or I mean, if the rest of the club's going to get behind it or not. But it's kind of nice that we're left alone now with like where we got our date, and then we start moving. Now we got to worry about conflicting with other events across the country and stuff too. So this year I was going to push for a certain weekend, but then somebody else had scheduled an event before I was able to do that, and part of that's on us as a club and needing to get our dates figured out and stuff sooner, or just communicating with the other events to make sure that we're all just remaining on good terms and not trying to compete or screw each other over or anything like that. So because it's nobody wins when you're splitting riders and stuff between different events. It's like what for? It doesn't work out well for either of you, so there's no sense in doing it. So
only issue I have with that is if you guys aren't on the 4th, what the hell am I supposed to do on the 4th of July weekend for fun anymore? I'm just gonna be sitting at home or what?
That's a good question, but you probably go like race Redbud or something. You haven't qualified for a pro national yet.
Yeah, if I was half fast enough, I'd give it a try. It's funny whenever I get the comment of somebody that doesn't want to go because of the 4th, I'm like, I literally don't know how else I would spend the 4th of July weekend other than hill climbing in North Dakota. Like that's just what we do at this point. So
I do remember though, like, did you guys not take a little hiatus from it? Like, were you focusing on moto for a while and you didn't come?
No, it was back when we weren't racing. Well, I was just doing local stuff, and Dad would go and do the Rockwell series at the time, and the Widowmaker was always like the weekend right before your guys' race. So we'd get home from like this 24-hour drive and race, and then like right after I have to go back out there, and we just didn't go. So he went for a few years, like when it had started, obviously when I was on like 60s and 80s, and then I didn't come back until I was on, I think like right before or right as I was getting into the open class. So it would have been like 2011 was maybe my first year back, or 2012, something like that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we were gone, missed it for quite a while.
You weren't quite the machine yet. You were still working up to that at that time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He was
Took
just
a few years.
He was just a box of parts at that point, Jay.
And I was just,
Yeah.
I think that Luke, was it our first year back when it was just me, you, and Dean?
Yeah, I think so.
It might have been our first time back up there. If not, it was the second, but that was a trip.
Was there a fair amount of complaining?
Yes. And then we didn't have GPS because this was like when they weren't very reliable on the phone. So we were trying to get out of Fordville following the map, and Dean's just sitting over there. We're fucking lost. We're not getting back. And I finally had to just chew him out, and I felt so bad after because it was just dead silent in the truck. I'm like, this is really awkward.
That's great.
It was funny.
That's good stuff.
It was good. I think that was the first time we went back, though. So I must have been 2012, maybe 2013. So I was probably like 17, maybe 18. No, I wasn't 18. I was 16 or 17 at the time. So yeah, we skipped it for quite a while, but didn't skip it again up until last year.
But I mean, what do you guys agree that like just from a spectator standpoint, like all the other stuff going on and people going to the lake and stuff, do you think that would be potentially hurting us or
Yeah. I think that's what sucks. Like you guys, it's cool I love it because we get an extra day of travel and have a day off around there. And I mean, for us, it's pretty close, but for you guys as a club, it probably makes more sense to not be on that weekend when people are already spending hundreds of dollars on fireworks and alcohol and parties and food and all that crap. And then, I always kind of go back and forth. Like, does somebody want something to do on the Sunday after the 4th versus just sitting at home before they go back to work, or do they want to just relax and do nothing that day? And it's like, I don't know if you have to play it by ear on where the 4th lands, where if it's before the 4th, it makes more sense to do it that weekend, or if it's after, maybe not. I don't know. But I think in general, you'd probably have more people there if it wasn't on a big holiday weekend.
I think so too.
Yeah, I agree. I think like when it first started, it was like actually a benefit because it was something that people looked forward to, but the world is just completely different now too. And
It
it's
is.
like people's time is just, attention spans are a lot shorter and people are just, in general, things are so much more attainable and easy to travel to go somewhere else and this and that, that it's now it's just almost like one extra thing to add in for an option for them, and we're not always the choice they make. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean-
and then like when it's a big party, it's like that could have just been everyone's pre-party, and then they leave there when the racing's done and go and drink all night or party that way. And now it's like you said, the atmospheres maybe change a little bit and it's not as new. And I think that's just kind of what happens. Like, unfortunately, it's kind of just a sport of hill climb where it's kind of the same thing year after year, and excitement dwindles eventually.
Yeah, like
yeah, I mean, we're not the only club who's gone through it. Obviously, like Billings is like probably the best example. Like the amount of people they used to bring into what it is now is just ridiculous. But then you have others like Devil's Staircase and Freemansburg, and
They just do it.
yeah, they just year after year people keep showing up. So it's like obviously there's still a way to make it happen, but I think once you lose that too, like getting it back is maybe even a little bit of an extra challenge than to continue. To never have lost those people in the first place would have been ideal, but to figure out how to get them back is, yeah, I think we're kind of in for a challenge, but I'm always trying to think of different stuff or do things, and it doesn't always all get done. But we'll keep trying, I guess. So.
Yeah, even with us for Bay City right now, I'm going through it because I try to do all the promoting that I can to run the event. But when we started out in 2011, it was exciting because everyone in the area remembered going down there as a kid and watching the races. So everyone wanted to come, and that was our best spectator turnout at like 950 people through the gate, or maybe it was a little bit more than that. Maybe it was 1,100, but whatever. And then it slowly dwindled down until 2018 when we did Motoclimb. And we had a decent crowd, but still a little bit small because it was our first year back. And then in 19, they were used to that date, so it grew. And then 20 were off. And then obviously 21, 22, 23, every year we're doing something new. You know, we brought in Motoclimb, and then we brought in a Motoclimb night race. So we got to promote that we're going to light up the valley and take those pictures. And that got people excited. And then it kind of turned into a little bit of a party where people got off the river and came into Bay City once it got dark and watched. And then we had AMA, so that was like cool to promote all the nitro and the different format, and then being at night as well. And now it's like we're almost taking a step backwards, and I don't know how to create a bunch of excitement around that anymore to get people to come out. So it's like it's tough to promote that too, because you kind of feel like you've been there and done that and done all the new and exciting stuff. So how do you promote it?
For sure. Yeah, I agree. And it's like you just gotta something that makes people. I think it's just things. I think a lot of the successful events that keep making it happen, like there's something outside of just the racing and the event itself that you have to figure out. People aren't coming there just to watch motorcycles go up the hill. Yeah, that's the main attraction, but like you have to supplement it with something else in order to get maybe the people that don't care about it to still come and enjoy something else that and they don't care about a bike going up the hill or something like that. So
something to me, it's just that I can't get out of my head is it has to do with, because these huge crowds that keep coming, they're all on the West Coast, or on the East Coast. I mean, there's no huge crowds on the West Coast anymore, at least that are coming to my head. Maybe Columbus a little bit, but outside of that,
I'd like to know, like,
the East Coast
at Washington, how many people are there? Because it's all campers, though. You know?
Yeah, but it's still nothing remotely close to the East Coast. And I think it's like something where you're just all so crammed tight on the East Coast, and there's just no room to get out and do stuff, that people just want something to do that isn't city involved. You know, you're getting out into the country and seeing engines and hearing loud noises, and I don't know. I could be totally wrong, but
I think you're onto something.
it's crazy. And I wish that we knew the recipe. Yeah. I wish every promoter knew the recipe and they could take advantage of crowds like that, because Hillclimb would be in a damn good position if we could.
All night I've been trying to think of some crazy ideas to give you, Jay, because you guys do crazy stuff, right? So here's another idea. And I'm just saying things, whether they ever happen or not, but hear me out. We used to have over in this little town by us is Elmwood, Wisconsin, and they're famous for UFO days, okay? So that's their little town day or whatever. They're a little crazy there, right? But when I was a kid, what they would do was at the height of the festival, they'd all gather and you'd gather in the town square, and a plane would come through and just shoot out, must have been 500 little paper plates, right? And would all come down to the ground. But one of them had $100 bill on it or whatever. And holy crap, every freaking kid within 20 miles was in that park grabbing paper plates, looking for that $100 bill or whatever. I can just see it now that at halftime, all right, everybody gather up. Here we go. A plane comes through and a bunch of paper plates come out, and one plate's worth a couple $100 or whatever for a kid. I could see it. Maybe that gets people.
That'd be pretty badass. Yeah. I mean, that'll get my head going a little bit. I got salty at Logan though, because he was supposed to be bringing our halftime entertainment this year, and I haven't heard anything, so I'm assuming it's not happening.
I have failed so far, but it's not too late, because Jake's more of a spur of the moment guy anyways. You can't make a plan with him. So
I suppose so, but
not totally
we don't got time to promote it at that point though. That's the unfortunate.
I know, that's the hard part. But if you do promote it, he'll flake out.
Was it a snowmobile or side by side?
Whatever he wants. I wanted him to be there and do something. And the door's still open if he wants to. Jake, come to the Brick Mine.
I'll see what I can do.
We can get you a live audience. We can get you going.
Oh man, I want to see a snowmobile go up it.
Live audience and a couple cameras is all you need with him.
Yeah,
that could be all he needs to jumpstart his career, and he'll blow up bigger than the Speed Boys. Yeah. You just don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you're not there, it's never going to happen. So
maybe, I don't know, there's a river close enough that we could maybe drag him up there. Do a speed run in the boat to get everyone wound up, and then
there we go
on the river. I don't know. There's potential.
Run over some tubers on the river with this.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Or if you guys aren't doing the cheese roll in Wisconsin, which that's really the only event that should do it.
Yeah.
I mean, we could always figure something out at the Brick Mine with the cheese roll too. So.
Man.
No, a cheese roll would be good.
That would be good. Damn it.
It's insane. Those people are nuts. I like to think I would do it, but some of that looks painful.
Yeah.
I think that one guy was committing suicide this year where he did the quad and he just pinwheeled. Oh, that was insane.
It's unreal. Yeah.
I never did hear if people have died or not. Let's hope not. I just always assume if they're showing it, there's no fatalities, but I don't know how.
Somebody has to have died. There's no way. They're carrying people off in stretchers left and right. So
right.
I would find it hard to believe that nobody has, but yeah, hopefully not. But.
No, crazy. So unbelievable weekend. So this is when this is released, we're talking this weekend. Brick Mine, Fordville. It's going to be epic. Last year, what was your combined purse from Brick Mine and Fordville? Do you remember what you guys did last year?
Yeah, I don't remember the exact amount, but typically where we've been, the ballpark has been around that 30 to 35,000 plus. I think not last year, but maybe the couple years before that, 39, 40,000 was kind of where we landed between the 2 days. So
damn.
Typically, as long as we're getting rider turnout, because obviously we as a club, we take the rider entries and we match a certain percentage of that. So not only are we adding in the extra rider entries, but we're matching every rider that comes in. We're matching. It really just depends on how the numbers shake out and where things are looking in a given year. But yeah, I would say a fair range is that 30 to 40,000 on any given year, just depending on overall turnout. So.
Wow. And Logan, when you're not injured, haven't you been on record as saying that this weekend is one of the highest purse weekends that you race all year?
Yeah, definitely is. It's just twisting that dagger, reminding me yet again what I'm not doing next weekend. But
Sorry.
yeah, I don't, like I've said and been on record multiple times, if you live within 16 hours of that place and you're not there, I don't know what the hell you're doing or why you're not there, but
Yeah.
kind of an idiot.
Yeah, even like, so you mentioned Anstead might come, and it's like, I guarantee a guy like him, he comes, he's gonna make money. Like,
Oh,
there's no way that guy leaves without making money unless he
absolutely.
wads up first ride or something like that. But
Right.
hopefully
Well,
that doesn't happen, obviously.
I know for a
But
fact he'd make more money coming to your guys' weekend than he will at the next 4 rounds of American Hillclimb West,
Yeah, absolutely.
which is
yeah, so that's what
nothing.
it's like. I don't know, like if you're not gonna come, like obviously we're not, none of us are, I don't think at the end of the day doing it for money, but it is a good
Right.
incentive, right? So like if you can come and make a little bit further of a drive, and you're more than likely, based on past results, gonna come home with pretty heavy pockets, like why are you not making that drive?
Yeah.
Take off an extra day of work or do whatever you got to do. Come from Billings, like we've had we've had good years for Billings, turns out, but the last few have been down a little bit too. So I mean, I just don't know. Those guys don't want to travel at all. They just want to do their local stuff. I guess that's fine. But like us as a promoter, I guess we're doing the best we can to reward the people that do come. So
Yeah.
I know me and PD are Instagram buds, and I'll be posting stuff or reposting that you guys have done, and he'll message me. He's like, "It's killing me. I feel terrible. I can't make it." And he wants to come so bad, but with France on his schedule this year and everything else, he couldn't do it. But he's running out of excuses, and it's just fun when top level guys like that, it kills them to not be there. It just goes to show what an epic event that you've made.
yeah, and I don't want to call people out on this, but like I think at the end of the day, it comes down to like almost passion. Like we've driven out to California and we don't make a dime.
No.
We're mid pack usually on a good day. Um, like there's no reason these guys that are at the top of their classes can't afford to come out like
Right.
in a race, even if they don't win. Like if you have as much money into your bikes as everybody know you does, and like as competitive as you are, like there's really not an excuse. Otherwise, you don't care enough or don't want it enough. So unfortunately, that's I think. I mean, there's been others too that have drove across the country and not made a dime. So it's like you
I
either
feel
want it bad enough or you don't. So
Yep, I feel you.
I'm in the same boat and I can't even comment about this because I can't even wrap my head around or begin to understand why if you want to be there and want to see the event, why you don't just make it happen, because that's what I would do, whether it's 8 hours away or 28 hours away. So it's like, I don't know. I don't understand it. And I can't try to wrap my head around it at all, especially when it's the highest. It's one of top 3 highest paying purse weekends in Hillclimb all year.
Right. Yeah. And one of them you have to
and it's in the
qualify
center of the
for.
country, so it's not too far for anybody to do it.
Right. Yeah. Besides the money aspect of it, it's just fucking awesome. Like it is just you are not coming to race some joke. It's a unbelievably run event. I mean, you guys were the first ever to have split times. You had live timing and scoring in the staging. I mean, it's unbelievable how far over the bar you guys go, and then plus the money. So it's just there's no excuse not to be there.
yeah, I mean, I mean, people, you only live once. So like, unfortunately, you're hearing this, so it's too late to register. But like, what the hell do you got to lose? Like, you could die tomorrow. So like, just enjoy life. And if you like to climb hills, I think this is like a can't miss venue. Like if you're in the sport right now, you need to make it to this event at least once just to experience it and see it.
Yeah.
We're fortunate to have the access and the support that we do currently. I mean, there's no guarantee though. I think we're good for, I mean, at least a few more years in the long term, hopefully. But like at the end of the day, something can happen and that could change pretty quick. So like,
Yeah.
don't take it for granted that this thing's going to be around forever too, and
Right.
take the opportunity while you have the chance. So,
And
because like everybody in the hill climb world knows, like you're not hills like this, whether it's our hill or somebody else's hill, they don't come along every day. So,
No.
to not take the opportunity to do it is, I think you're sitting in your rocking chair when you're 80 years old. It's going to be a regret that you're going to have. So,
Yep.
yeah, and with our sport, talking just about racers, like you'll see it. Like I just mentioned him earlier with Tristan. You know, what did Tristan have first? Did he have a van to haul his shit, or did he have an open bike? He had a van, and then he figured out this bikes. It's like if you're going to hill climb professionally, you better figure out how to get from race to race before you worry about winning championships. You know, because that's a big part of it. There's not a professional series that's all within an hour. You know, it's like even Rockwell, you're traveling. It's like well, I guess technically Rockwell this year it would all be within an hour, isn't it? Because it's just
Within
4. 3 hours. Yeah. So, but okay, so I was wrong as always. But you know what I'm saying? It's like that's part of the sport. Traveling's part of it. So let's just get there. Let's just have the best possible talent we can have at the Brick Mine. That's what I want.
yeah, for sure. I mean, the more the merrier. Unfortunately, if you were saying maybe the California guys aren't coming out, that's yeah, not great, especially if they're in the running for points in Motoclimb. But I guess we'll just do what we can to put on a good show with the people that do come, and welcome the French guys, and try to keep making improvements and control what we can control. And I guess if they don't want to show up, we'll have a good time without them. So.
I was looking at the people in the overall right now in Motoclimb, and hope I'm wrong. I hope that every person in the top 20 is there, but it looked like there was going to be some ginormous holes. And obviously, if Jake comes, it's over. But if Jake doesn't come, I'm going to tell you right now that the Motoclimb Super Series, there could be a North Dakota champion. Dexter is in a great spot right now for winning that freaking championship. It's basically going to come down to him and Tristan if Jake doesn't come. That because there's just a lot of people that aren't going to make all the events, you know. So it's like it's going to be pretty crazy to see what happens or who shows up for this weekend for Brick Mine and this championship. I'm excited to see.
Definitely, yeah. I think I mean, I'd love to have those guys come, but if they don't, it will be exciting just to see how things shake out and just get some new blood and shake things up a little bit for sure. And if Dexter's in the running for that, I mean, I think the kid's on the come up, and he'd be well deserving if he was able to get it done. So
yeah, no, that's people like Dexter give me hope because they're young people that are really good, talented, want to go fast, doing it the right way. They build their own crap. They've been figuring it out, and it's so fun watching him and his dad get better and better. That's the sport. I freaking love the sport for that. When people just work, get better. How the hell can you not cheer for that? Same thing with Tristan and his program. You know, those guys have been working, building, getting better. It's just freaking awesome. It's so fun to watch young people get this accolades and money and prestige from the sport when they put all that into it. It's pretty awesome.
for sure. And just to talk a little crap, the one thing that Dexter, I hope isn't in the running for is the Dakota Dominator, our own little local series here. So I don't think us old guys are ready to quite give that one up yet. So we're going to keep throwing down with him and kind of keep him in check if we can. So
that is Brick Mine, Fordville, and Valley City. Is that one?
Correct. And it's like Olympic scoring. So you have to be at all three in order to be eligible. And like, you could kind of look at that however you want, but like it's already only 3 events. So to me, it didn't make sense to have, because we get a big influx of guys to like our Fordville and Brick Mine, obviously, and it didn't make sense to have people that only race 2 to like be a part of the championship. So it's literally just kind of a way to have all the local guys that do all 3 events compete directly against each other and kind of we do compete for a little bit of extra cash at the end of the year, and just some awards, and it's kind of just a cool bragging rights thing. And the Dakota Dominator is like the overall between all 3 classes champion. So that would be like the pinnacle of North Dakota Motoclimb would be the Dakota Dominator. So yeah,
Let's go. Has Mitch Dahl been a player in that game?
he has, but he's had like some weird cases where he just has an off day or something. So like he's definitely came home top dog on a few occasions, but he's also dropped the ball a couple times, and me and the brothers have as well too. So, but I was a Dakota Dominator last year, and I'm looking at defending. So,
Awesome. Let's go
Time to
back to
repeat.
back.
and Dexter said he's coming for me, and I know he is, but it's on.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Lastly, so sorry to see you have some get off. How are we doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Ended up breaking a few ribs and collapsing a lung just just over 3 weeks ago, or no, just over 2 weeks ago.
Dang.
But yeah, I'm feeling well. I went for my first checkup today, and like everything is healing about as good as I could ask for. And I've been off pain meds now for probably 3, 4 days, and like I don't really have any pain at all anymore.
Cool. Good.
So just continue healing for the next week and a half, and as of
Nice.
right now, I'm planning to be on the line at Brickline. So
Yes. Awesome. Well, that's great, man. I was hoping to hear if you were going to be able to think you were going to make it or not. So don't be out throwing any freaking hay bales. Don't be doing anything dumb to injure yourself. Save all that Jelinek strength for race day, okay?
yeah, for sure. I definitely like Brick Mine. We're the ones who put it on, but still, like it's my favorite event too. I kind of feel like I shouldn't say that sometimes because it's like, well, of course it's your favorite event, you put it on, but it's like, no, I've ridden other events across the country too, and I still like. I think we got the best hill, and
Yeah.
for some reason it suits our riding style pretty well too, and we can, I feel, be a little more competitive than we can at some other venues as well. So that's probably part of the reason why we like it too. But it's just, yeah, it would kill me to miss it if I have to, and I don't know for sure if I'm gonna be well enough to yet. But like
Right.
if my ribs are painful and like I think there's risk there, I won't take it obviously. But
Good.
I think I'll be good. Typically I heal faster than most people, but yeah, the hospital stay was a little rougher than anticipated. Things didn't go quite as planned right away, so
Ah.
I'm glad to be sitting where I'm at, and
Was it your
healing
lung
well.
or what happened when you were in the hospital?
Yeah, so with the collapsed lung, they had put in a chest tube to let all the air out around the lung, and when they did that, it got most of the air out, but it didn't get it all. And then so I was in the hospital for 3 days, and they took that chest tube out, thinking I was possibly going to go home that day. They thought that they had gotten enough air to where it would clear itself out. But after they took it out, they did another X-ray, and actually more air had came back into the chest cavity and kind of started to collapse along a little bit more again. And so they ended up putting another chest tube in, and then I had to wait it out of I think 3 more days, and then finally that was in a different location, and things just went better, and finally got released. I was in just under a week, so it was
Wow.
Dang.
turned in from like 2 days to a week, and it just that's nothing I could do but sit there and wait pretty much. So
Right, man. Oh, I'm so sorry you had to go through that. That just sucks. Like the crash too. Like you said in it. Like 9 times out of 10, you just walk away from that sucker. But just it's so weird with crashes, right? It's nothing heroic. It's just one little odd angle one way or another. And look at you're sitting there with a neck brace, or you're laying in the hospital for a week. It's like you just can't. That's the damn thing about crashing. You can't plan for everything, can you?
no, you can't. And I did order. I mean, you see some people wear like these moto vests and stuff, and I was just like sitting in the hospital, and I'm like, well, if I'm gonna ride, I might need to protect this thing a little bit more, or like if I would have been wearing this, I probably wouldn't be in the hospital right now. So I ordered one of those. I'm gonna try it out and like protect
Yeah.
myself
Yeah.
the best I can.
Great.
Because I'd rather like I think a lot of people don't wear them
Yeah.
probably because they think they don't look cool, or they probably are hot too or whatever. But it's like I would rather put up with the negatives of that and be able to go riding the next day, because the day the crash happened, I had a riding day planned the next day as well. It's like just missed out on that completely and
Right.
missed a week of regular life and stuff. So it wasn't not awesome. And the whole experience from like the crash and not being able to breathe with the collapsed lung right away and just getting that first chest tube put in. And it was like honestly one of the worst experiences of my life because it was like
Ugh.
they're pushing this tube in through my muscle, like, and it's not a sharp tube, it's got a blunt tip, and I'm having to resist, and like I can't breathe barely because I only have one lung, and it was
Man.
That's rough.
there was a point like where I couldn't breathe after the tube was already in, and they didn't know what was going on, and it was like I was just trying to catch my breath, and I couldn't, and I was like, "Fuck, what if this is it?" But it was like I didn't actually believe that it was, but I was like, "What if?" Like I have no control at this point, and
Right.
thankfully I was able to just like I think it was like a lot of adrenaline and stuff too, like just the way things were going because I was on all these pain meds and stuff, but it was a little scary and traumatic. But then the next one I got put in at the other hospital was like there was nothing to it. I didn't feel a thing, so it was two completely different scenarios. But yeah, I do not care to go through collapsing the lung again for sure.
No, and we talked about before, like some lessons cost more than others, but if you learn from it, right? I mean, Logan at one point was holding his intestines in his hand and he realized, hey, maybe there's a piece of safety equipment that might help me out in this situation, right, Logan?
Yep.
The
Sometimes you gotta
hospital,
learn the hard way.
some of those hospital beds provide several moments of clarity where it's like a little uncomfortable riding is worth the security of, hey, if this stick tries to go through my heart, I'm going to have a hard piece of plastic there or something to stop it, right? Like that's important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't believe the amount of people like me and all the brothers always wear like a hard chest protector. I can't believe the amount of people that ride without anything. It's like for me, like I'm always whether it's I mean they only provide so much protection, but like I'm always hitting something or like
No, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean even just roost being behind somebody like
yeah,
rather than have a freaking chest full of welts, at least you only
yeah.
have arms full of welts or something
Right,
like that.
yeah.
It's just and they're really to me they're not that uncomfortable, so I'm boggled by the amount of people that don't wear anything at all, honestly. So,
Right. Well, I'm glad you're on the mend. We all are. And man, thanks for sharing your experience. It sucks, but there's probably going to be someone listening that will go through that. And then they won't feel like such a puss if they heard one of the Jeleniks said that they were in a little bit of uncomfortable moment trying to put that tube in your chest, right?
yeah, no, that was wild. I don't recommend like I think part of it was like and not to like throw shade at the hospital, but like I don't know they don't it was a smaller hospital, so they don't do that procedure every day. So like I think if I would have been at a bigger hospital who was more familiar with it, it might have been a little more comfortable. But like yeah, having somebody just shove something through your chest and you can feel it a little bit and you have to like physically resist them and yeah, not fun.
I'll shout out to Rick Mead. He gave me one of my favorite quotes as we were sitting there talking about like your experience where obviously someone might have been not had the most talent trying to put that tube in you. And I've had a few medical procedures that didn't work out just right. And Rick's like, yeah, he goes, in college, that guy that, cheats off the hot girl's paper, maybe stays out too late, doesn't really impress himself in school, but does just enough to get by and get that diploma. You know what they call him? Doctor. And it's like, yep, there's doctors that just barely made it, right? But we don't know that. And there's doctors that stayed up all night, every night studying. They're both called doctors. So it's like you can have good doctors and you can have bad doctors. So you got to really remember that when you're there. We're all human beings of different skill set. So sometimes you got to question them, right?
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't think it was a bad doctor by any means. And I know that's not like what you're saying, but like just being built the way I am too, like a lot of times when they're doing those things, it's in an older person. That's like the people that have those complications and stuff. So it's like their body mass versus the body mass that I have is just completely different too. So just I think that was part of it as well. So but at the end of the day, like I'm the one who put myself in that situation and I went there because I trusted them and so I can't really complain at all one way or the other. And I don't know if it would have been better elsewhere. I have a hunch. So
You're on the mend now, right? You're on the mend, looking up. We have the possibility of maybe riding Brick Mine We're sending so many positive vibes. Everybody listening, send Jay positive vibes. Maybe a few to Tom too. We want that neck healed up. We want you guys back on the bike where you belong. But Jay, if you have just a few minutes, every episode we try to go and check the temp, let's just say. And every now and then when you're riding, you pick up that little piece of wire. Maybe it's a banner. Maybe something debris on the field get caught in your chain. What the hell is that caught in my chain? And we just gotta go around and see if anybody's got anything that's maybe bothered them a little bit. Like Luke, you got anything that's bothering you right now? Anything you want to get off your chest?
Couldn't be any more corny.
Yeah. All right, here we go. I got my bow and arrow. I'm sitting on the door. I'm going to shoot this shitter for those. That's a Dukes Hazzard reference for you guys. But Luke, do you got anything caught in your chain?
No, I don't think I have anything this week.
Jay, by chance, do you have anything caught in your chain that you want to get off your chest?
So I do. I'm gonna try to say this like as nicely as I possibly can. But like, so I'm in the heat of promoting and putting on events and stuff, and like, there's a lot of local people that come to these events. Um, we're we're always like in need of extra help and more help and putting these events on, and a lot of people will just show up on race day or and take things for granted, and I think they need to take a step back and really realize that like it takes people to put these events on, and maybe if you're not contributing, um, maybe you should think about it or just some way to get involved to contribute to these things if you see value in them continuing to happen. But if you're not willing to do that, certainly don't be the one that's going to be complaining or wanting rules changed, things like that, because I'm not going to take you very serious if you are, or if nobody should really. That's like my nice way of putting that.
Yeah, amen. Yeah,
Yep.
preach. Yeah,
And I'm very like thankful for the people being a part of like the club that we are, all the people that do help out and make things like go at the end of the day. But there's always a certain amount of that I mean, people are there or they're supposed to be there and they're not on the prep days, the cleanup days, and all of a sudden it comes to race day and they're there religiously. They never have an excuse on something else that's going on that day, but on the cleanup days, there's always something else going on, and it's a matter of prioritizing. It's not a matter of you got something else going on, and if this is really a priority to you that means something, and you want this to keep happening, like
right.
maybe a guy like me or a guy like the other club members gets just burnt out or tired of it one day, and now who's going to do it? And people just need to, like, we can only do this for so long. Like, we need to get other people like knowing what goes on and happens as well. So
Right.
part of that was like I'm actually not vice president of the Eagle Ridge Motorcycle Club anymore, and I pretty much just stepped back because we need to get more people involved and understand what goes on, and not a lot has changed for me. I've just continued to do a lot of the same things, but just trying to get people more familiar with some of that stuff, so we don't end up in a situation where if I get hit by a train tomorrow, like people can pick up the slack without even really noticing is kind of the goal behind that. So
I don't think that's possible. I don't. Some people don't have a replacement, Jay. I mean, I think you might be one of them, and be proud of that. But yes, thanks for pointing that out. And it's always good to say thanks, right? Nobody ever hates it when someone comes up and says, "Hey, thanks for putting so much time into this. This was awesome," right? That goes a long ways too.
yeah, for sure. And like I said, the people that do help out, like, it's more than appreciated, but I think more people need to be aware of the fact and like step back and look at it like where, yeah, we have a cool race series, and yeah, we have cool like motoclimbs. We get people to come from all across the country. We get spectators to come. Like, I get to ride in this. Well, what if these 10, 12 people, whatever it may be, don't do this? Then what's this going to look like?
Yeah.
I think people just need a different perspective on how to look at it. And if they look at it and they're like, I don't care if this event happens, whatever, then that's fine. But like if they see value in it and they want to come race, I would think that they would want to continue things a little bit. And I know everybody's got a different situation and different priorities and stuff too. So it's not meant to like just talk down on them, but like that's why I said I'll put it this as nice as I can. Like
No,
I
that's
just think
well said.
I think that goes for like even Logan, they're always short on help there in Bay City, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of riders local that come and ride and will never lift a finger other than that. And it's like, well, you guys should think a little bit more about this type of thing. So
I saw once in our club, to give a funny example of a family that was signing up for the race and had been members at one point and then left the club and decided to pay the, I don't know, $50 or $100 family membership fee that we charge, and then signed up their entire family to race all day, helped clean up some garbage cans at the end of the day, and we never saw them again. But we also couldn't turn down any free work. I was like, wow. That was
yeah, I mean,
painful.
what do you do, right? Like you want help, so you'll take what you can get, but
Yep.
it's like, come on, guys, like
But yeah, that one stung.
Yeah.
I was like, dang.
mhm.
Yeah. I got nothing this week. Logan, you got anything?
Mine, I think it's repetitive, but just these damn mud ducks. They just need to learn how to drive. Well, and not just them, but everybody. It's so miserable.
And if
I had to go to training in Brooklyn Park today, and it was raining. So it's like, no, just because it's raining doesn't mean you need to drive 25 miles an hour. You can use a blinker. You can check your blind spot.
Yeah.
You can allow people to merge. You can drive out until the lane ends and zipper merge like you're supposed to. Just
Right.
Nobody has any idea how to drive.
zipper
And
merge.
it's just so miserable. It reminds me, every time I go up to these cities and do these trainings, it just reminds me how nice my drive to work is every day.
Yeah. Oh,
God, it just sucks.
can we talk zipper merge? What is it? Why can't you just let me in? Right? Like you have to zoom up so that you make more problems for everybody else. Just we all got to go to the same spot. It's like
it makes no
damn.
sense.
There's only
But
one
it's
thing
like-
worse.
It took like 2 hours to get home from Brooklyn Park tonight. I didn't get home till like after 6, and we left there before 4.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's like
terrible.
30 miles. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a rough one, but
So you got it made, Jay. Not a lot of that in Fordville, is
Yeah.
there?
I think I'm content where I'm at for sure.
yeah, you don't have to worry about the zipper merge up there.
No,
You can just hit the ditch if there's too many cones in the way, right?
for sure. Yep.
Even more reason to get to the brick mine. Good traffic, no worries.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Oh man. Well, I tell you what, dude. I said at the beginning, I believe it. You're the lifeblood of everything cool in North Dakota. North Dakota is my home away from home. I absolutely love that state because of the people that are in it, and that's you and your family. I love you guys. I can't thank all of you, the Jeleniks, yourself personally, your wife, everybody involved that helps so much to make these epic events. We are going to show up this year. We're going to make everybody in North Dakota proud. We're going to rip it with Frenchies and the brick mine, Jay, right? Yeah. You've been
Can't
helping.
wait.
They've been instrumental in getting the Frenchies there to the brick mine and Fordville. It's going to be so awesome. I got to say, kind of cheering for one French collarbone up at the top of Fordville still. I still think that would look good on the shirts next year. But dude, so many thousands of people appreciate you that listen, that have been part of all your events. You're going into the Scramble series, the Hillclimb, everything. I hope you get everything that you've ever wanted out of these things, Jay. If there's something we can do to help you be successful, we want to help. This is just so epic what you have going on with your family, your club, everything. Dude, thank you. People are watching. They're cheering you on. And get better, and let's frickin' rally at Brick Mine, brother, right?
For sure, yeah, and I obviously all the kind words always help, and I mean I do what I can obviously, but I couldn't do it without obviously the other people that pitch in and help, and all the sponsors and landowners and stuff as well. So I want to make that very clear that like this isn't about me. I do what I can. I fit in and take care of what I can control, and I'm very passionate about it obviously. So just want to make make sure everyone knows that it's a big team behind making all this happen too.
Hell yeah.
It's honestly, I could start naming names, but I don't think that even does it justice. So they know who they are if they help. They know who they aren't if they don't. That's pretty much all there is to it. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be awesome to have the French guys, and yeah, it's I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna keep promoting, doing what I can the next week and a half, and hopefully we see everybody the week of July 5th and 6th.
Woohoo! Awesome, man. Can't wait. Thank you so much. Let's get frickin' racing.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Come on, my mama told me one day I'ma grow up big and I'ma be a king. And my papa told me it's okay to sit where shit hurts. Don't forget your dreams, cause they'll get you through this so-called life.